27?
Productions.com. So don't stop listening. Continue to listen. Why are you not listening? Wait a minute. What?
Hey there, kids! You're listening to a special episode broadcast from Doc Dead's basement. It's Gamefest! Shut up down there! Shut up!
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Show X on VTWProductions.com. As you just heard from our good friend Hando, today is a special show. Today is a Gamefest show. That's right, everybody. We're coming to you live from my basement with a few friends. And I'm sorry, Ken is not joining us today, as he is getting prepared to go travel and do worky type things tomorrow. First thing, early in the morning, he has to be up before the light of dawn. And so, in order for him to spend a little more time with Kitten Features and have a normal time frame today, we gave him a day off. Besides, I've got three other guests joining me today. So, starting on my left, we have...
I am Paz 2142, Kuro,
and El Campo.
That's right, everybody. We have some of our guests that we have all the time after these Game Fests. But this is special in a way. And we'll talk about it as we get into it. Anyhow, you're listening at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT on this, what are we at? The
22nd?
Yeah, the 22nd of May, 2016. I know, goes fast.
Man.
All right, everybody, so we are going to kick things off right away with... As I have to reach back.
Functional deviations.
All right, today's just functional deviations is all about gaming. Guys, how are you doing?
Awesome.
Tired.
I actually, for once, did not overdrink last night, so I don't feel hungover during your show today.
You know, that's actually one of those rare moments. I was going to say, I actually feel pretty good too.
Yeah,
I did not destroy myself this Game Fest.
Yeah, usually I feel way old by this point in Game Fest.
Yeah,
right now, I just
Out
feel regular
completely.
old.
I actually got sleep last night, which is a rarity for Gamefest.
Yeah,
Well,
I slept like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right? It's actually like getting almost normal. Now, I did my normal, right? I didn't sleep as much as I probably should have. But it's also odd because I started not sleeping Wednesday night, where it's usually I start Thursday night-ish. But this is because I had another friend in town, and we ended up staying up way too late talking. But I had taken Thursday off completely. And it's also because, although he's hiding not on camera at the
Earth's
moment,
over yonder,
little brother is here, so Earthweaver's here as well. And he had come in Wednesday, so I figured, you know what, let me take all of Thursday off, finish getting things ready, because I was also going into this crash course of having to finish like crafting mode and other stuff in the basement. You saw it as you first came in, where the tables were not set up.
No.
There was stuff everywhere. Sewing machine was still out, fabrics and things like that, and I had to get it all put back in the corner, get everything cleaned up for everyone else to show up. And so between that, settling with Earth, hang out with other friend all night, didn't even, I didn't think I went to bed till like 2:33 in the morning or something there. And then I guess there's a switch in my head that says Gamefest.
Yeah.
And when that switch goes off, essentially it's like I don't sleep after that. I will wake up every morning, no matter what, at like 7, 8 in the morning, regardless of when I went to bed. And that happened again this week. Go figure. Anyhow. So yeah, I started it then, but then we actually got started with things this week on Thursday really well.
Yeah, we didn't have to rebuild any computers.
Yeah.
Well, not until Saturday.
Well, I wasn't rebuilding a computer. Well, no, actually, Biebz had to rebuild his computer.
Yeah,
He just needed a hard drive.
He grenaded his SSD
That's
on
right.
his boot drive, so he made a candy store run for that. We did make another one, but we'll get into that later. But no, Thursday night we started. I did the normal thing where I kicked off the upgraded interwebs to make sure that we'd have the best we could. But that actually started things on an off note.
It was odd. I've never seen your internet act so erratically.
And that was the crazy part, because it was popped up, but it took a while where for a little while it only would show like 20 up and 20 down.
Yeah.
Which is like, no, we bumped it up to 20 up and 100 down. Why is this not happening? Rebooted everything, and eventually it kind of bounced around a little bit. Sometimes it gets slower, sometimes higher. Eventually we saw somewhere where it was like 30, like 20 up, or no, actually it went down to like 10 up and like 30 down. So it was all over the place.
I know one of the speed tests I ran was like I got 0.26 down and a 0.17 up.
Well, and that was when it was really ridiculous, because when we got the erratic side, it was getting to like crawling dial-up speeds.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to get on the phone and start just yelling at my internet provider. But then we kept going, and I check its speed test via my phone, which was connected via Wi-Fi over, as well as connected to the LAN computers. We do speed tests through multiple sites.
Right.
And for a while there, all the LAN-connected computers were getting like that dial-up speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the wireless was getting the still like 20 up and 20-ish down or something in that range. It just somehow better. And it was like, okay, now I'm confused. WTF. So I went through that, went to the website for the router. It was an old Asus, I forget the brand, but an earlier model Asus. Great interface and everything. I love their little UI and such. But for whatever reason, I was like, all right, there's new firmware. Went, updated the firmware, kind of reset everything. Still freaking out. I actually did a factory reset to the one, which sucked because I had so many like little tunnels and firewalls set up for the server and other things. I was just like, hopefully this doesn't break the world. But got that all running and it was good. And then that helped. It got a little faster for a bit, but then we'd get these spikes. Whereas like we actually saw we saw 15 or 10 up at the best and 100 down. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden it would get like I was watching the wireless the overall internet monitor on the router, and it would ping out to an unbelievable number. It would say that somebody was sending at like 1.4 gigabit per second.
Nice.
Right. I would love that. Those blast speeds.
That's nice.
Yeah. I was just like, what?
When did you get Google Fiber?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know. Someone upgraded me to fiber, and I didn't even see it. But only on the upload. And it was crazy because when I did that then, the internet would completely drop to the point where we were seeing constant like 200 to 300 pings across the board no matter what game you were in.
Yeah, one Rainbow Six, we all actually got booted because our
ping was 900.
Ubisoft servers dared say we had too slow of a connection and said go away.
It didn't do that until we reached around 900, though.
Yeah. It was around 900,
Hey, my IRC connection died.
IRC's going crazy right now.
QuickNet.
Speaking of things going crazy.
Oh.
Well, so essentially it didn't kick us, which sometimes happens because too many people from the same location.
That's what I was getting in the
sometimes
web chat.
We'll sometimes get kicked, so we can't have everybody log on to the IRC. And not directly from this. If you go to the website at VTW Project, like Pause has done, through a connection, you might be able to do it better if you go through the website, not your own connector or your own IRC. But
all the chat got booted.
Yeah, we got booted for having too many. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll be able to reconnect and see what's going on in chat. If not, let's see. Yep. And if we don't get back on there, still feel free to send emails into showx@vtwproductions.com. We'll be monitoring that, and from there, you'll be able to connect with us and talk to us and see what's going on. Anyhow, continuing on. So, router was just giving us all kinds of headaches. We kind of had it limping through Friday, I would say.
Yeah, Friday night's gaming was erratic.
Well, then some of it
playable.
Some of it was helped because we had people that were upstairs playing Rock Band.
Yeah.
We had people that were playing. What other stuff was getting played? It's just kind of a round robin of stuff. People doing
Supreme
normal stuff like they
Commander
do.
The arcade box got it. Yeah, we did a couple LAN games.
So
it
Supreme
didn't
Commander
need
stuff
the
like that,
internet.
which helped. But it still would get weird. Well, that was because our external connection. We had one person, so Stoner came in and was playing with Supreme Commander 2 from an external connection. Yeah. And when the internet decided to go nutty on us, it just lagged everyone out. And so I disconnected the gateway at that point, the actual modem, and all of a sudden the LAN play was just like butter smooth.
Yep.
It's like, it is still something with the internet itself connection. Yeah. So we'll go back to like timeline of us gaming stuff, but we ended up, and Kuro, could you grab the box right there, the just the lid from the table? But we ended up to do what we do on our end to try to solve problems like this by throwing money at it.
Yes.
And so our answer to the problem now was deciding we should try a different router, a new upgraded router. In this case, we got the Asus AC5300, which essentially is Asus's latest and greatest, biggest, baddest, looks like it's a spider that would eat you router.
It's like a bear trap.
It has like 8 antennas. It's designed to be able to do all this, beam splitting stuff like that. It's funny though, because it's really about wireless performance more than it is about wired. And I was trying to do review lookup everywhere online as we were struggling through this.
Right.
For who's got the best, most stable, like solid just router. Something business capable that I cannot worry about for 10 years. Nobody speaks in that language. At least not when it includes like home wireless. I guess in business solutions you do wired and wireless separately.
Yes.
Just access
completely.
points.
Yep.
And so I was just kind of like, damn it, I want the all-in-one solution. And so we are hoping this will be it. And at least so far, it seems like it has solved our problems. I know there was some other little hiccups, but I think that was more people downloading.
Yeah.
The normal kind of issue there. But for the most part, I think we've been solid since. So we're going to assume the culprit was the old router.
I think it's a safe assumption at this point.
And so we'll hopefully this. I mean, that one I'd had for years now, because that was one before there was USB 3 on them and stuff like that, and so
engineered to break.
Yeah, you mean all U.S. Well, not even just U.S. All technology today. So yeah, the challenge with that, but
yeah.
So anyhow, that's kind of what was going on with all of that for the internet this weekend. Beyond that, overall, I would like to say we had a really good showing.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the biggest we've had in.
It's been a while.
Yeah, like a year essentially or more. You know, since like Epic or something. Well, so it's funny. That goes into further discussion, like why this Game Fest was somewhat special, and that is we had a lot of guests from not just our normal local tribe that all comes, but our extended tribe as they've decided to leave us and go about their own ways and make poor decisions like that.
Don't sound
but so we had how many out-of-towners? We had Paz in here, Paz 2142. Mike, which you say like, what? Mike.
Flew in from Atlanta.
Yeah, he recently has moved out to Georgia, essentially. And my brother Earthweaver, who's come in from Iowa. So we had 3 out-of-staters in here that all should really become in-staters, make this easier. But along with, we had a couple new ones, not a whole ton.
Yeah.
Some still kind of somewhat fresh meat with
guess, yeah.
Well, John's only been here once before, I think, for his whole one. John Wasik, the author of Sword of Dragons, who, by the way, has his new book released next week for the second book of Sword of Dragons, The Burning Skies. So check that out if you haven't looked for that online. You can pre-order now. We had, I'm just saying, so many people.
We had several new faces.
But a couple newer faces. Well, even to the point of, like, La Campette brought a couple of her friends by, which at first I was kind of concerned about, but they brought, both the guys who came brought, I guess you call them PCs? The little, like, Surfaces or land book things.
Yeah.
They were surprisingly small, but I was just kind of like, But they were gaming.
I think they were all playing Undertale for the most part over there.
So we had a combination of, for them, it was Undertale. I don't even think your daughter spent much OS, but she did play some.
One of them was playing StarCraft on the Surface.
Well, so yesterday was StarCraft.
I didn't know that could work. I'm going to have to do that now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but it kind of showcased that you can play a lot of games on these smaller devices. But that impressed me because talk about easy to show up with. I mean, you're not going to be playing some Black Ops on it or anything like that, but
you could try.
Some of the RTS stuff like that absolutely worked, and they were playing those.
Just try Doom.
Try putting Doom on that.
Well, that's one of those things that drive me crazy. My daughter has this legit gaming rig.
Oh, it's so funny.
And she plays all of these basically 8 to 16-bit games on it. I'm like, you have a 970, a 660 Ti, you're running at 4 gigs.
And you run an emulator for SNES.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, you have a rig that people would drool over, and you're playing Terraria on it.
No, that is very entertaining. Well, that, Undertale, OS, all of the things she plays take like zero. It takes like zero actual strength or power of the machine to do it.
Right.
And so, I can imagine the pain.
Oh, man. It's just... oh, well. It is what it is. Yeah. One of the coolest things, though, is Paz brought his Oculus.
Yeah.
So he was basically just the salesman this weekend. It's like, hey, put this on your head.
Seriously.
Watch this Tyrannosaurus try to eat you.
Everybody was blown away that
it was amazing. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, because even when I had first gotten my dev kit Oculus, right, that was one of the neat things, was to set it up so that everyone could play with it the first time, just to kind of get eyes on, as I say, with the new technology.
Right.
Well, Paz in our group is the first one to have the actual, not the dev kit, but the release kit one.
Kit,
so it's like, I think people are calling that RC1 or something like that. But
CV1, consumer version 1 or
something like that. The full, like, essentially, yes, this is the one made for market that everyone gets to play on. Mm-hmm. Which I've seen at CES and played with a little bit, but it was fun. So we'll talk Oculus first, because I know I got eyes on. I don't know if you guys got eyes on with the Oculus at all.
I have not yet.
Okay, so one virgin.
I will.
Yeah.
I will make sure I see
that
the
was
Oculus.
One thing with me bringing the Oculus. You have to remember that I had to fly here from Pittsburgh.
That's
and
impressive.
I built a rig specifically for that purpose of bringing it on the plane in a backpack, small enough where it would be able to do that, and powerful enough to
I'm surprised TSA didn't go, what is this?
I know.
What is these wires and microchips?
So easy to. I was super surprised.
You should have put almost specifically for Gamefest.
You should have stuck some Play-Doh to the motherboard to see if they would have.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be strip searched.
There's certain levels of searching that are okay, and then the ones that just don't feel good.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there was,
unfortunate. It looks like the IRC is fully dead.
Is that
Oh,
dead?
wow.
I can't get it in from the side. Are you even seeing anything?
It will just disconnect when I try to get
I
back
tried
in
with
there.
Heist Chat. I tried with Web
It's
Chat.
unfortunate.
No luck.
Oh,
Anywhere.
are we even on air?
Well, we're on air. No,
Oh,
we're
okay.
broadcasting. That's fine. It's
It's
just
just
that piece
IRC.
of it. So that's all right.
R.I.P. chat.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
That's all right. We'll just
Well,
turn off the IRC for
Jump
now.
in TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
Or get on the
Yeah.
Google Video Hangout wall, and you all can chat
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, so send in emails, showx@vtwproductions.com, and I'll read those. But beyond that, listen and hear us, and you'll see what Gamefest is about.
Yes.
All right. So the Oculus, though, with this final version, I knew it was coming. Right?
Yeah.
I said I'd seen a lot of the demos and such, and Oculus has this great demo reel. Although it's funny because I swear the one they do, well, because they did them all
Might be
together
slightly different.
at CES, because they include that Unreal one at the end
Okay.
as the culmination of essentially what's going on in there. Yeah, you guys won't need the cans for the most part then, as long as you're speaking to the mics.
True.
But the difference, this one, it has basically the same thing. I was very happy, in fact, that they included the audio one in it, because I've seen a demo reel where they didn't have
Really?
the audio piece part of it again. I was like, come on, that was actually really key.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with those headphones.
Those headphones are
Those little
amazing.
tiny little dinky things.
Dude, everyone compares them to like old Sony Walkman headphones, like
they-
the old, just barely
Yep.
an ear cup.
That's about right.
But you get
That thing.
3D sound legit.
Well, the key is
Yeah.
they're really just stereo sound,
Yeah.
but because of the API
Yeah.
and what it's doing to actually show that we can truly do positional audio, it works right in tow with where you're looking. And that's the part that I talked about before, but when you experience it, it kind of blows your mind how
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
it is, because you can hear something and then you just look at it. You just look your head over like, yep, there it is, right where I heard it.
Yeah.
And in a way that's almost like not even what my 7.1s do.
Well,
Right.
that's what the coolest. Yeah, but the Oculus is you can look. It's
Right.
not. I don't scroll over to see where that sound came from.
You just
I-
look around
I
like,
turn
oh,
my head.
right there.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And there
Yeah.
are better headphones out there for sure that can do the positional audio. You just have to look for them and spend a lot of money to do
well,
it.
yeah,
no,
that's
but
the
even
The
like,
point is that you're not.
you know, our game, yeah, it comes with it. So if you invest in it, it
Yeah.
already has it. Yeah, and the neat
The
thing
vibe
about
you
that
have
is they have it so that you can pull off those audio
Yeah.
cups, the headphones on, and use whatever headset you want. So essentially, it'll work regardless.
Yep.
But it is just a neat feature that I had with it as well. What I like to talk about, because it's not a perfect solution. As we talked about, this is the first generation out there, but it's good. And what I love seeing is anybody new who tried it out, you see the same reactions,
Yep.
the same experiences to part of it. Because it's funny, is the first like little dinosaur you see in the thing, they've changed that one because originally that was a raptor.
Okay.
But now in the consumer one, it's the
Full-size
T-Rex.
T-Rex,
And so
yeah.
it's like they saved on assets or something, made it less. Because the Raptor was cool because they kept it right that height.
Yep.
Where it was like, that looks like the Raptors from that movie, you know? And it looks like it wants to bite me. And so you would get this little sense of like, because you could lean forward, back, turn around, stuff that you don't necessarily want to go right in there because you think, wouldn't they just be those arses that actually like made it snap at you or
Yeah.
something, right? Would like actually react to you.
I have the second T-Rex demo where he
Yeah.
roars at you.
Dude,
right? And then
If they actually snapped at me, I would poop my pants.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Like,
Because you get just enough sense of, because one of the beautiful things about the Oculus is even though there's some issues with the visuals, you get a sense of being there like nothing else.
yeah.
Because it does
Yeah.
fully, it's your vision, and because they did such a good one-to-one for the motion, you can really get a sense that I'm in this, I know it's virtual, but I'm in this space. I'm at the right height, I'm looking at the right place, I'm able to move in a way that's just natural, and so you really do start to kind of just, yep, that's there. I know it's not, but man, it's there.
Yeah.
Which also lent over to like everyone in the demos I saw, because a lot of demos work best standing. As they would start turning around, like there were certain demos, everybody reached out for something.
Yep.
At
Yep.
some point was like, wait, I
Everybody
feel like I should be able to touch that
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Which sometimes they did, not what they saw, but
Yeah. Shady.
the computer, the table, someone else.
Shady punched his
Shit.
monitor. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm gonna back up there, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have to buy a new monitor here.
So
shortly.
because we were doing this in this Gamefest situation
Yeah.
right amongst people, you kind of had to have someone somewhat corralling
yeah.
to kind of no, you're good, stay there. You can turn, don't walk, because there is this feeling like you should be able to just move within
Well,
the scene.
The two most impressive ones to me were the one where you're on the ledge of the building,
Yeah.
where it felt like
Oh, that caught
I'm going
everybody.
to fall.
That caught
Like
everybody.
I know I'm in Wayne's basement, but I'm about to fall.
Yeah.
And then the second one was that where the police are fighting the robot.
Yep.
Yeah, so
That
yeah.
was
Yeah.
freaking cool.
Seeing
col-
as somebody who has done this actually quite a bit, like I've watched the videos multiple times.
Yeah.
It actually kind of loses some of the I don't know.
the awe factor? Or
Not even so much the awe factor, but the believability of the depth. It actually kind of, I think it's partially because of the screen door.
So the number one issue that people have been commenting on with the Oculus, and the same thing applies to the Vive. They
Right.
use the exact
Even more so
same
with the Vive.
screens. Yeah, they have the same resolution screens. They use slightly different, and I forget the name of the multiple angled lens where they
Yeah.
actually have little
I can't
refracting
remember the name.
like lines in it that causes the refraction to do a different progression. It's not just curved. But they both use the same technology, very similar. And
Yeah.
the problem is, even though the screens are significantly improved from my old DK1, you're sitting not even 3 inches from the
Right.
screen, right? Put something
Exactly.
3 inches in front of your face. First of all, try to focus on that.
You're right.
And then imagine pixels. Because if you do that to your own monitor, you'll
Yeah.
start to understand. Because even the high density, high resolution monitors we have today do not have that pixel density.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so there's a challenge there. Now, I will tell you it's significantly reduced from what I have.
Right. Yeah.
And
No,
so it
definitely.
is better. It's still usable. It's still
Absolutely.
like good. It's just not awesome. It's not where you lose yourself in
Right.
the image. You know there's a screen there. But beyond that, like I said, the depth's awesome. The motion, because the top of the building one's funny because everybody reacts the same. And they also toned that down from the original demo. Because this one, they at least put like rails beside
Yeah.
you and stuff like that. In the original one, you were on the edge of just this building top like you're all Batman perched above Gotham. And you look back and it's open around you for the most part until you get more behind you. And they put much more structure there, I think, to help people.
I grabbed the table. And then I was like, oh. Like,
And it is so like, where to
Yeah.
go? Well, because like your wife, when she saw it, and
She would not lean.
oh my gosh, it's
She's
just
like,
like,
nope.
just lean forward, just lean forward. No, stop it. You know, she was so scared of that.
Yeah,
and it
pretty
wasn't even
good.
just that one, because there's another one in there that has a little bit of height.
It was the alien, I believe.
Oh
Where-
yeah,
where
yeah.
you're
So
sitting
it was the
out
alien
here.
because when you're first looking at the alien, the ship and stuff, it's all fine, right? She turned around, and looked behind her, and is like up on a ledge a little bit, and she like almost stepped forward away from
Yeah.
it.
So what the hell?
Yeah, it's just like So the height definitely got her.
Well, speaking of stepping around, so when you first showed me the cops versus the robot,
Yes.
when I took the Oculus off after it, I found myself, I was 3.5 feet away from where I started
Yep.
because I was moving, walking, like leaning.
Because you wanted to kind of explore the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
It's-
And there goes the downfall of the Oculus without having that room
Well,
capability.
there's two sides of it because it can. Actually,
It
they've shown
can.
the Oculus can move just as far as the Vive.
but they're
the problem
designing
is
it
you
not
need
to.
well, you need a couple cameras to do it
You
because
do,
with the
yeah.
Vive, it's easier for it to do because it blasts IR off the 2 cubes it
Mm-hmm.
comes with, and you can just add more IR cubes and it blasts more of the room. The difference is the Vive has the camera on it, so it can see the IR. It knows where it's at, whereas the Oculus relies on the camera separate, which is a more expensive device individually,
Yep.
to see where the Oculus is. And it unfortunately doesn't really give you a sense of the room other
Right.
than just the Oculus. And so there's the difference. Because having seen videos of the Vive where it gives you a see-through mode, where as you get, it's totally gone until you get close to your boundary that you set for where you move. And then it slowly, by default now, shows a green outline, of like Matrix style, of everything in your room.
Right. Wow.
And so it's like a see-through the goggles where you can actually see where you're looking in the room so that you don't run into things.
So you can find your beer.
It's a little
Yeah.
offset. but yeah.
It's a little offset. There's a little depth
I
thing
think
to it.
it's lower.
Yeah, it's
than
just a
your
little
actual-
off because the
yeah.
camera's like in the middle of it versus where your eyes are.
I've got
But
a
it's
buddy
still
that's got
very
a
good.
Vive,
Yeah.
and I'll be curious to see the difference between the Oculus and the Vive, like, because I've read a lot about the differences in them, but like actually seeing the difference.
Yeah, actually
is gonna be
seeing
okay.
it directly is going to be
Yeah.
a telling thing. And I mean, I'm at a point where if the screen door effect was a little better, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping would be ironed out by now, because I remember the DK1. It really cool, super awesome concept. The head tracking was great, even on that, and I'm sure it's better now. But
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
it's-
screen door effect
oh,
was
it is.
what killed it, and that's what I was hoping that they would have been working on ironing out.
Well,
this
and
whole
Yeah.
time.
like I said, they
Pause, have you
improved it.
tried War Thunder or anything like that with it
No,
yet?
I have not.
I was
yet.
tempted because it worked on my old one
Yeah.
natively, even on the DK1. They were one of the first companies to throw it in there was with War Thunder. And I will tell you, I liked it because
Yeah.
flying an airplane better than like Eve Valkyrie. The problem with Eve Valkyrie, because you played that as well.
I have not actually.
Oh, you haven't touched Valkyrie?
It
Valkyrie
didn't work for
makes
some
me
reason.
nauseous in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Partly because it's space travel and you're moving so fast.
Why did Elite Dangerous? It does the same
Same thing.
Yeah.
So same kind of concept. It's such a fast motion that you're like, oh.
So Star Citizen might be the same kind of.
Well,
thing.
but Star Citizen isn't as twitchy. I don't know. We will see.
It's a little bit more deliberate, yeah.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
we'll see. But War Thunder is a great example because it's a plane, right? The physics,
Yeah.
as long as you're not playing mouse mode, if you play joystick mode, right, it's deliberate where you turn and pull back on surfaces, so you have a sense of where you're going to go. The challenge, though, when I played War Thunder with the screen door effect, because when you play in cockpit right there, it looked really good.
Oh, yeah.
But again, with mine, you can't lean. You can only just rotate, which is harsh because you're in this cockpit and you want to,
Right.
like, see everything. And you can even, like, lean out where I played it and it worked good and I could look up and pull back and see the guy I was chasing as I was doing a sideways bank or something like that. And it was really slick. It's like, well, that's why this canopy's all clear up here. Go figure.
Right, yeah, right.
You know, you can actually look around in the world. Awesome. But I got sick quicker than, like,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah,
I could
we're
imagine.
trying that.
See, I was actually okay with that one when I did it with your dev kit. So
Yeah,
I'm wondering,
I
you know,
didn't have-
with this, I'm going to be hopefully fine.
I
Yeah.
thought that was one of the most pleasant experiences on the dev kit.
Yeah.
Was War Thunder, yeah.
See,
Really?
And
God,
there's
War
another
Thunder made me
challenge
want to throw
with
up.
War Thunder is that I don't know if they actually patched War Thunder to play with the. Oh, there goes the plane.
That's the military.
It's the sound
Yeah.
of freedom.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they actually patched War Thunder to work with the consumer version.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
And
I'm
if they
assuming
didn't,
they've
it's going to
kept
be a
up, but-
lot harder because they changed the way that the
Yeah.
Oculus works between the dev kit and the consumer, which I can't change modes like you can.
There's only one way
still
to
have,
find out
I
the
still
way it
have my.
views. Right,
yeah,
right.
we can load it up. It's free. That's nice.
Oh, I
check
tried
it out.
Doom with
With
my
Vimeo,
specific
or-
drivers.
yeah.
The was it
Oh, no,
Vortex or whatever?
Yeah, Vorpix.
And that it doesn't provide enough field of view to make you not sick.
Oh,
Because
so
if it
it's-
had a bigger field of view, it feels like you're just kind of
You're looking through
right
like a
next to
little
your gun
tunnel.
like this.
Ah, and that's the challenge, right? Because not all game is designed for the Oculus yet.
So Battlefield 4 maybe, because you can go up to what 210 degrees.
well, and
Yeah,
there-
you might be
well,
able
so
to.
here's the other
Yeah.
thing. And I don't know. I don't think Paz had enough time to go to this level of depth. There is a lot of forum support out there
There's
for
yeah.
all of these devices, for the Vive, the Oculus, even the Samsung VR, because people are trying to make this experience work. And so they're putting a lot of effort where people have found all these third-party tools and things like that,
Yeah.
like Vorpix and such, to make 3D work in even games and stuff that weren't designed for it. And they'll tell you, change these settings. You need to tweak this. You need to do
Right.
that. You need to really get that experience right. And there's some
Alien
that I've done that with and it
Isolation
worked.
for one. Alien Isolation works great on the dev kit too. On the consumer version, all the settings in the world will
Don't
not
fix
fix
it?
it. They have to patch it to make it work.
Well, and it's funny because there's just recent news that just came out about Oculus. Because I don't know if you guys had heard, but I talked about on the show a week or two ago about how there was some industrious programmer out there who was able to do some work and find out how the APIs work for the Oculus and the HTC Vive and Steam.
Right.
And in doing so, was able to make a thing like an translator that
Yeah.
basically told the Oculus store that if you're running a Vive, that you are actually running an Oculus.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you were able to play all of the Oculus games on the Vive, which is like, oh, cool, because Oculus is trying to do this thing where they have a couple, you know, like the console market,
Exclusives,
right?
yeah.
Game exclusives, where only them. Which I understand, you're trying to sell and do your thing, but it's like, come on,
You don't want
guys.
to lock the
Oh, and they've
ecosystem.
talked about forever that they were going to
Right.
keep it a very open and open source type of interaction.
Well, that's
but
before competition came out.
Right.
exactly, and that it's a Facebook-owned entity in
Yeah.
Oculus, and so there's been little tweaks. So they said right when it came out that they were going to likely patch it away to get rid of the ability for this translator to work. And go figure, they have.
Yep.
The challenge that was slightly in this actually sucks more for the game developers than it does for Facebook, essentially, because the game developers now suddenly have this new market of people that could buy their games and pay for it, because you still had to pay for the game. It wasn't like you
Well-
were hacking it that they were free. You had to have the Oculus VR setup and buy their games.
We're PC owners too. We're not Mac owners or console owners.
Exactly.
We expect openness in our products. We want to buy a monitor and plug it in and have it work. We don't want to be like, oh, well, this monitor is not going to work with my AMD video card. I guess I'm going to have to get another monitor for that.
So why do they need to blend free and G-Sync and just call that a done?
Right.
Yeah, that would be awesome one
It-
of these
it's
days.
not that expensive, guys. You could have both. You really could.
Actually, they could easily
Yeah.
make a
It's
control
simple.
board that would implement both
Well, because here's the
FreeSync
thing.
and
Even if
G-Sync.
it was that hard, right? Even if it's not one board that did them both, Why not? Why hasn't any developer put both in one monitor?
It's probably licensing. It's probably weird.
But
Yeah.
you should license both.
yeah.
It's and honestly,
That
because the
might be
component
against the
cost
terms.
is nothing,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
Yeah, it probably is a. No, you can't do
NVIDIA is
that.
really protective of
Right,
their
well-
G-Sync because they spent so much time
Did
on
you
it.
know that
supposedly,
G-Sync
right?
Mobile is FreeSync? So G-Sync that's on laptops,
Yeah.
or mobile devices is FreeSync.
Huh.
And there's actually FreeSync actually can go outside of the bounds that G-Sync can. You can do the 240 hertz. It's just that NVIDIA hasn't implemented higher frequencies on that yet, but eventually that'll get there.
Well, and it's just one of those things where we need that convergence of technology because
But yeah,
I should not
used
have to
it.
tie my video card with my monitor and vice versa. That's so dumb.
We're used to having open hardware on the PC platform where
I should be able to use-
mods,
yeah.
everything is open on the PC. Don't sell us hardware that's going to be locked into.
No, I should be able to use any mouse, any keyboard, any
That's the
headphones,
beauty of it.
any sound card, any graphics card, any of those things, right?
Exactly.
Again, like you said, we're not Macs. Come on.
Yeah.
So there is that, but anyhow, so they have patched it now so that Oculus is now protected
Cannot.
again.
Yeah.
And they basically they were calling it a hack. Everyone else was like, no, they just found a translator.
Right.
Totally not a hack. They said this command means this command. All you do is link the two.
Yeah.
I think big open source support for the VR stuff for indie game developers is going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And whoever supports the open source side more is definitely who we're going to see indie games on.
Yeah.
Well, but we know who's going to win. It's whoever does it properly with porn.
Yes.
Because whoever finds a way to
Not
lock
Pornhub.
in good 3D porn, that's going to win. Because that's what's pushed the entire market. That's what pushed the
is there
internet,
any-
commerce, everything.
I don't want 3D porn.
is there any Oculus porn yet? Like actual?
There is VR porn.
Not
Well, I know.
meant
I've
for
tried.
Oculus,
I've tried the
no.
Google Cardboard, and that's a joke. It's a
Right.
video that you can move your head around and get a different perspective.
Most of them
That's
are
all it is.
360
There's
video type
nothing that's
things.
meant for a specific headset.
Now that when
There's
that
nothing
comes
like
out,
that.
What's key? All the digital
Mind-blowing.
hentai, right? All that stuff should be like an instant.
Yeah.
Throw it in there, right? Because it's
Yeah.
already digitized.
Oh yeah.
But no, jokingly, it's just porn pushes technology, and so
Well, that's why Bluetooth won.
it's why
That's why
Bluetooth.
VHS
It's why
won.
it's why DVD won. It's why Blu-ray won. It's why we have internet commerce. It's
Actually,
why
it's not why Blu-ray won.
I thought
That's a whole different.
I didn't
game.
think HD DVD had porn.
No, Sony was like no porn on ours.
I thought
Yeah,
that,
they changed their mind.
Sony's
later.
always kind of been that way with their formats.
Yeah.
Oddly,
They're like,
Hey, they're not as bad as Apple.
porn.
no.
because come on, guys,
Definitely not.
everybody needs
Yeah.
porn. Just let it happen.
They just marketed it well. and,
So
yeah,
right.
they put
Well,
money at it.
So anyhow, but the VR experience was great. It was fun watching everybody kind of like to have those same reactions, almost fall off the edge and catch themselves. Senses of awe when certain things happen.
Running into crap.
Yeah, try
Yeah.
not to
Yeah.
run into everything.
I was surprised how many people were okay with Lucky's Tale because
Well,
I had
that's
a
funny,
huge
right?
issue with that.
So it's interesting. Maybe per person, right? Because you're doing
Yeah.
better on like the flying, where I was like, nope.
right.
But some of the standing still stuff not as bad for me.
Well, I just downloaded the Climb, which you climb a huge rock face, and that was perfectly fine. And it's rated as intense. Lucky's Tale is rated as medium or mediocre or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, we're climbing a wall. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, the
yeah.
wall one was funny because I saw Unit both playing it, and at least with Unit, well, both of you, it was kind of like leaned back in your chair, like you're literally looking up
Yeah.
this rock, just like chilling, just looking over here, looking over there, and watching it on the screen. I was kind of like, this seems like such the most simple thing,
Right.
but it sounds like it's actually a really cool
That
experience.
game made me sweat. I had to take a break after that. Oh,
well,
man.
but that's the thing. I think you even ran into that camp a little bit when you were first done.
Yeah.
You pulled it off. You kind of sat there for a second, looked down, like, whoo.
Yeah, that was after I went through the first demo rigmarole.
Yeah.
Took it off, and I think it was even starting to fog the lenses.
Yep.
Yeah, you were sweating
Yeah.
enough. You were sweating enough. We had to
I
wipe
was
the
like,
lenses down.
shit. Yeah.
So my hope with all of it, because I still have mine on pre-order, but admittedly I've got that kind of on the fence thing, because that's a lot of money that could go to a
Yep.
1080 for me.
Yep.
Like the exact money that could go for a 1080 for
Yep.
me. So it's like I could see dropping that pre-order.
If it makes you feel any better, I did see something this morning of actual results on frames per second for the 1080.
Yep.
And it only beats out the 1080i by Ti by just a tiny bit.
The 980 Ti?
Yeah,
I've seen various benchmarks too.
Yeah.
Tech Syndicate did benchmarks, and I saw they did a lot more indie games
Mhm.
Yep.
for more different benchmarks than everybody else has been doing, and they saw like 10% over the 98 Ti.
I was gonna say, I've
like
seen
50%
little
over
things.
But
Fury.
you're looking at a huge increase for performance for VR.
Well, that's
yeah.
what they really pumped
that's
development
where all
into
that-
is because they have the how does the frame sync or the they invented that whole new technology to
A whole bunch
actually
of-
render both eyes at the same time instead of
Yeah, they did a better job of making it so the whole throughput's going consistently.
And you have 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah,
RAM.
too.
Well, I'm looking at them too, just nothing else, because it's the first ones that are going to enable actual gaming 4K.
Yeah.
Because they're going to enable the 120 hertz 4K because of the
Yeah.
HDMI
Well, it's
2.1 or whatever, and
we're
the
still,
DisplayPort
even if we
1.4.
can do that, it won't be another 2 generations of cards down the road until 4K gaming's like actually.
Well, until it's a
viable?
regular thing.
Because for 120 hertz, if you want to sync at 120 frames a second on your 120 hertz 4K monitor,
Yeah.
you're going to have to push those frame rates. And
Right.
like dual Fury cards on like Witcher 3, I'm getting like 30 frames a second. And that's a game that actually does have multiple GPUs implemented.
Yeah, well, that one is one of the examples they show for 4K gaming.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I've seen it at demos where they're showing 60 frame per second 4K Witcher, but they're doing it with like 3 Titans and SLI.
Yeah, I've seen the 4K results from the 1080, and it's nothing super
That was what surprised me,
crazy
actually.
over what we currently have.
Yeah, that
although
surprised me.
implementing the new DisplayPort is the big step in.
Well, it's
having
throughput.
that
You get
work.
so much more bandwidth with that.
Did they put the new DisplayPort? in
New
the 1080?
DisplayPort, new
Yes,
new.
they do.
Yeah, both
Okay.
that and HDMI.
And-
So that one is supposed to support 4K at 120.
Yeah,
Yes.
120 hertz.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, which
I
means
did
you
not
can
know
finally
they
get
put that in
4K G-Sync monitors. Because here's my thing. I don't just... For me, it's not even running 4K gaming at 120 hertz. There are games I would like to run at 4K. Not everything. We've talked about FPSs.
Well-
FPSs are not necessarily the best at 4K because at a certain point those pixels get too small, and it actually makes it harder to shoot someone.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's all about the scaling of the game
Yeah.
and how the scaling
Yep.
works on it and the texturing. Like Fallout 4 is okay in 4K, but certain textures are sharp and other ones are
You have to
flawed.
mod the Jesus out of it to
Yeah.
make it work
Yep.
for 4K.
And in a lot of other games, even Witcher, it falls short on its 4K texturing. In 1440, it looks beautiful, and I think that's still good. 1440s.
Did you download the HD pack for Rainbow Six?
I
I
did
did.
not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You need to do that.
It's
Okay.
free.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just another
It's just
checkbox.
another
I'm
download.
actually really impressed with how that game was running in 4K.
So now I'm
It
actually
was
interested to
running
see what it looks like for
beautifully.
you.
It
Yeah,
was
see
over
the
40
difference?
frames
Well, I
a
didn't
second
realize he
for me.
didn't have the
Well, they
HD
put all the
pack.
technology into
Yeah, we
it.
should check the
I'll
difference.
gotta
on
look
that.
at
Yeah.
that,
Well, I was
Yeah.
running a single card over 40 frames a second in 4K.
That's
Yeah, it was smooth. It was playable. It was a
Well-
good experience.
that's the thing. I'm not about gaming at 120 hertz and 4K. What I would like is a monitor to do everything.
Yeah.
And that is when I'm playing something like a League of Legends that I currently at 1080 run at 160 to 250 frames per second. That one I might run at 4K. When I'm playing like Black Ops though, and if I may only run that one at 1080 or the like 21 by 14 something, the 1440 type one, but I want it to still be able to do 120 hertz.
Yeah.
And the problem is the current 4K monitors that are like the 60 hertz 4Ks only do 60 hertz.
yeah.
When you put them to a lower resolution, they don't go faster.
There's actually a few on the market that do.
There
but
might be
they're-
a couple.
They're none of the American ones. They're
Well,
all these
go
weird
figure.
Korean
The
import
no
models,
brand-
like the 40-inch. There's badass
A 40
40-inch 4K
Oh,
computer
so-
monitors with FreeSync enabled, and they'll do 120 hertz in 1080.
See, but that's what I want more of, right? I want the one that's
Yeah.
flexible. Which I got to see, or there's an article I just had seen and somewhere posted. The first is from Dell, a 42-inch 4K monitor
Yep.
with the multiplexer built in. So that you can run 4 separate 1080 video streams at once.
See that
And use it as 4 monitors in a single
'Cause-
seamless, no border display.
that's
Or 4K. And you could just click and expand or drag and...
that's a beautiful
Huh.
part about 4K is you have the resolution of 4 1080p screens.
Yes.
So you can essentially web page, or web page, porno, chat, music. Like
Well, so think for coders, it's a big deal, right? You
Oh,
can
it's
have all your
fantastic.
references. Then the thing I like about this way of doing it, and I've told you, it's why I stopped doing the triple, what's it called? The 3-headed.
surround or
Well, when
Infinity.
Yeah, Infinity or that, where you put all as one desktop, 5100 by 1080 or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole reason I stopped doing that was because some programs hate that resolution.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But if you had a thing where you could do no, I'm still running my game at 1080, it's just in this display. And much like I have separate monitors here, I'm running this software here, this software here, this software here. None of them suffer for that. They're all programmed to work at 1080. Perfectly fine.
NVIDIA did a fix for having the multiple screens as well.
Well, so that's the other thing. Talk about the new driver set, the new thing coming out, because it doesn't yet work on the current generation. It's designed for the 1080s and 1070s.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll downtrade through, although hopefully I'll have a new one by then.
Yeah, right.
Where they make the screens so instead of getting that warp effect on the edges, when you have them angled, it looks like you're actually looking through windows.
Proper persistence
and so
of view.
it takes everything and flattens it back out. So your actual perspective, your field of view, becomes like 160 degrees.
Or just get the curved monitor.
Or you can get a big curved monitor, but those are equally more
I
expensive.
want one so bad.
Well, so it's funny
Those
that
G-Sync ones now.
well, that Dell 4K, except that's not a gaming monitor, was like $1,200 or $1,300. Which, when you think about
actually
it, that's
incredibly good.
not bad.
These,
And it's a Dell.
You can actually get these Korean 40-inch 4Ks for $400 to $800 shipped to you. To your door
Wait for
within like a week.
BenQ or Asus. Or
Well, that's what I am. I'm waiting for some of the
Acer.
monitors and companies I
Acer,
know
yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like the support will be across the board.
I've
'Cause-
almost got one of the 34-inch ultra-wide curved ones, but just the resolution isn't...
well, it's such a weird one. It's such a wide,
yeah,
crazy one.
it's more problematic than 4K a lot of the time.
So but I mean, that whole hardware discussion, because yes, we're on this cusp of new technology hitting.
It's fantastic.
We got to play with the Oculus,
And
tons
IRC
of fun.
is working now. by
Is
the
it
way.
again?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Let's see if I can get back in. And hopefully not break everything.
So some things work sometimes. That's a thing.
Look at that.
It's trying.
Oh.
Well, let's see if we get enough that it breaks out, or hey, it looks like it's live again.
Ah.
Woo.
All
So
right.
that means
you,
I can turn this
QuakeNet.
back on and go IRC. Hey, look.
There's
And look,
an
there's
IRC.
people in there. Awesome. Cal's in there and Copy. So welcome, guys. Anyhow, so back to Gamefest and gaming.
Yes.
So it was a large setting here. Ton of people.
Yep.
We also had people externally come in and play at different games.
I think we had... That happened yesterday. We had one point where our TeamSpeak was too full.
Yeah, we finally...
Yeah.
Because thank you
it.
very much, Typefrag, for giving us our TeamSpeak. Huge fans. You guys have given us great service, and with our advertising of it,
been
we
fantastic,
get a server that's up all the time and allows 20 free connections.
25.
Or is it 25?
25.
25 connections. Well, we reached that limit. In fact, I had to boot a couple. I apologize to people in the AFK fishing channel for.
Booted all of them.
Yeah, for the-
Honestly, and I even went to the regular AFK channels. Like, well,
Black
if you're
Desert
AFK,
or
you're not...
Yeah, so that we could let enough people.
Yeah.
So it's funny is because I kicked your daughter, right?
Yeah.
As she was getting back to her computer, it's like, oh,
the
it says
hell?
AFK.
Why on me? Why are you gonna kick me? And I clicked.
Yeah.
But we actually filled the TeamSpeak. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So for any of our doubters who say it gets empty or this or that, there's not enough people in there time. Oh, we can max it.
Oh yeah.
But what was great is we had a variety of games being played. We had our usual kind of selection, although
Yep.
we've changed a bit because we do a lot more FPSs on our group.
Yep.
But we had our Diablo 3 group in the back, who
Yep.
they basically played Diablo 3 the entire weekend. But I've seen them do that. That's what they're doing. That's
what they
their
do.
game.
Yeah.
Earth and Hostile did it on occasion. I want to say Mike played it on occasion, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people were in Diablo 3. Beyond that, we've touched on Black Ops.
Yep.
Played little bits of it, not nearly as much as we have in the past.
There's a lot of League of Legends.
We a lot of ARAMs in there because we also had our groups over here that mostly did League of Legends, and so we bounce in and out of that. Fork, myself, Earth, Hostile, and like Kadigma and his son and stuff like that. We also had a little bit of Subcom too, just like one game I think overall. Subcom 2.
One big game.
Yeah, one big
We played
game.
a couple of smaller ones.
Some was.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We had some people playing their own games, of course, like always, single player stuff. I mean, I played some Doom throughout. I know Earth played some Doom. I think basically anyone who had it kind of played, and I tried to convince everyone to at least get it because Doom.
Yeah.
But yeah, grab a chair.
I
if
was
you wanna.
popping in single player games when people were in between their multiplayer
Yeah, when
games.
you had
but
people kind of bouncing around, right?
I think there's been a lot of gaming going on, a lot more gaming than past Gamefest.
Oh, it was just a constant, right? It was a constant
Yeah.
just gaming.
I think we got the temperature in here well over 100 degrees
Oh, man.
Friday night.
So
boiling.
it was warm. Now we
Yeah.
had to finally get things cooled down because it's actually been beautiful out here in Colorado this weekend.
Yeah.
So for us to sit inside and
fantastic,
stay
yeah.
in the basement all weekend.
Yes.
You can look out the window just a little bit and see this beautiful sunlight, almost like blue skies throughout this whole weekend. It's been awesome. And then, but it got warm. We felt it a little. Thursday wasn't so bad, but there's only not even half the room in here, about a third of the room, but
Yeah.
good showing. Friday, it was funny because, God, by the end of Friday, and from how much I'd been drinking and just playing, Friday felt so like Saturday to me.
Yeah.
This Game Fest, I seriously kept looking at like,
awesome.
That's it, right? We're done, right? It's like, shoot, we got all of tomorrow.
Right.
Because I think I was up till 4:30ish in the morning Saturday
That's when all
morning.
the drunken shenanigans happened.
Yeah,
Friday,
no, it was. It wasn't like Saturday. It was Friday that people got wrecked.
that's probably why everybody's feeling great today.
Yeah, exactly. We did our drinking a day early.
We
Mostly
figured the trick
recuperated
out.
yesterday and then came back. Because, oh boy, did we. But let's see, we played Rainbow Six a lot, actually, more than I thought we initially would have.
And actually, there's a lot of people that had it that I didn't even know had it.
And so it came, well, once people started seeing it, it's like, oh yeah.
Some people bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I bought it, and
Yeah.
I've been having a blast with it.
It's a fun game. The learning curve, though.
Yeah.
So it continues to be one of the more difficult games to initially get into.
And still not perfect at all.
No.
At all.
It's still
No,
soft.
well,
It has
and
some major issues.
I think we all ran into that issue of lag, right? It's something we've talked about
Lag
a lot
compensation.
lately. And yeah, you're right. It's not lag itself, because we had our lag moments. It's what devs today somehow... God, I want to slap the idiot that came up with the concept. I swear, I'm going to blame console gamers. It has to have come from a console. Because on the PC, we
didn't
never
used to
had
be
this
on
issue.
PC.
Yeah. It's,
Daniel Modern Warfare 1 didn't have it for sure.
no, none
Modern
of our
Warfare
old
2,
games
I don't
do.
think had
Well,
it.
back in the Quake, Unreal Tournaments,
Yeah.
all those days, Tribe, stuff like
Did
that,
it have
none
it?
of it.
Oh yeah, you lag in that game, you're teleporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the discussion we've been having about lag is that, hey, devs, could you please stop? Stop punishing people that are able to maintain a solid, good internet connection and rewarding those people that have yet to either upgrade or...
Well, they're somehow causing artificial
Or,
lag.
well, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
The problem with it, one, admittedly, yes, if a person has great ping and a solid connection, back in the Unreal Tournament days, I remember, and I've said it multiple times to show, the term that was coined of LPG, or LPB, low ping bastard. When I first got cable, everyone else was on dial-up, everyone else was 150 to 250 gaming, I was at like 40 to 60. And I would just walk through the map and destroy everyone.
Yes.
And yes, that sucked for them. But then the playing field got leveled. More people got broadband, and you stopped noticing it, and that term went away. Now it's reversed. And the problem is now what you've done, devs, is you've created an environment where if somebody has a bad ping, if they're getting packet loss, things like that, you do this weird magic math to somehow make it that they can still compete with those people who are having a nice fluid experience. And in doing so, it hinders the gameplay for everyone that's on a normal play. And to a point where what we see is ghosting of, like, teleporting characters, interactions where you have crosshairs and bullets on a person, but they don't register, where you're pulling the trigger and you're seeing them
Where you got
like,
bullets come out of a corner.
or
And then
you
the person appears.
you are completely protected. You die, and you see the person after the fact, or if there's a kill cam, you see that where on your screen no one was there. On their screen, they see you perfectly and blast you, and you're looking the wrong direction. And it's just wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to netcode that became a thing, but y'all
So-
need to stop.
I remember at a LAN party ages ago, I had dial-up, and we all played LAN games back in the day. This is down in Pueblo, a whole bunch of my buddies.
Which Rainbow Six is LAN capable?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
we
that's
figured that out
amazing.
yesterday.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
But we had internet connection sharing set up on my dial-up modem, and my Xbox was plugged in, my original Xbox, and my buddies decided to try and play Halo online. This is one of the first games that started implementing stuff like that. They got on Halo on my dial-up connection and wrecked every other single player as cheaply as possible because of it. Like, they literally were destroying everybody at that game. Every match, every person they played.
That's maddening.
Because of
Yeah.
netcode.
Yeah.
No, it's just one of those things. It just shouldn't happen, right? Stop punishing those who are good and those have good technology and connections to make it so that it's the lowest common denominator. That does not progress gaming.
Yeah.
Screw that. Because it's one of those things that what really hurts us is when we have other countries play on U.S. servers where they've got the ping and
Oh,
thus
yeah.
the advantage
Yep.
because they're pinging poorly. We've had that happen with Europeans and
couple
like South
Brazilians
Americans,
yesterday,
yeah,
yeah.
all the
Especially in
time.
like Rocket League, a game like that. It's internationally popular now. and there's people all over the world playing that game. And ping's a bad issue in that game. It's such a fast-paced game where it's hard for the netcode to compensate for any lag issues. So there's a lot of games like that where it's pretty critical to get that right nowadays.
It is. No, you need to do that. Anyhow, so aside from that, Rainbow Six was a blast. This has been a love-hate game for me because it does take knowledge of the levels. It takes an understanding of the way the game plays, the way shooting works.
Lots of patience.
Gosh, yes, it is not a run and gun game, although there's sometimes an advantage to go out there and roam.
Yep.
It's crazy, and not only do we have great games where we're on against everybody else in the world, but we even got to a point where enough people were playing that we were doing just short of a full 10 match.
Oh, we had it yesterday.
Yeah, for a little, because a couple externals and everyone internal, that we had 10 people where we had 5v5.
I had yesterday where anyone who wasn't in the basement, we couldn't play Rainbow Six with you because we had 10 people in the basement playing it.
Did we get that far?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
Yeah, no, it's so good. So very much enjoyed Rainbow Six. Hopefully we'll still feel that love outside of Gamefest, so I could continue to play it on occasion. We touched on Battlefield.
Yep,
We,
played some Battlefield.
there's some a little bit of arcade gaming going on in the back, but
Played some Mario. Yeah, went back old school.
I'm trying to
challenge the teenagers to some Mario.
Well, so that was a joy, right?
Yeah.
But one of your daughter's friends who didn't have her computer with, but was hanging out, kind of stuff. I felt a little bit bad, so I was trying to throw her on the main box, and had her playing original Super Mario Brothers. And I actually gave her credit. She didn't do terrible. She was progressing in it. And I asked, yep, that was her first time ever touching the game.
Wow.
But again, she's 14, 15 years old? I mean,
the game's older than she is.
Oh, by far. The game's 25 years old now or something like that?
I don't remember
Or
when it
more,
came out.
because it came out in
83?
6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. It wasn't 3. It was 87 or 8 or something when the Nintendo came out.
I don't remember. Yeah.
But essentially, not just a little bit older then, almost twice her age.
That game could be her father.
Yeah, it's just short of, right? And so it's one of those where
Yeah, old man Nintendo. Yeah.
But so it's fun watching kids play games like that, because I always chuckle when they get to a point where I'm like, oh, you're about to die, and they get, oh, look, you've never seen this before. You see what it says there? It says game over.
Yep, you're going back to 1-1.
Yes.
Yep.
Up in another quarter.
You guys don't know what that means. Here, let me educate
No
you.
checkpoints in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Just and it was very funny for them to see the reaction where they're just like, oh my god, I don't understand what this is. That was great. But that was fun. We had rock band going on upstairs, some drunken rock band, things like that. People love to sing to that.
Hollering.
Hollering.
Yeah.
So those were all fun.
Had the projector set up with
Street
Fighter.
Oh, so we started out, there's a point also where in the upstairs in one of the side rooms against one of my walls, a little curved wall, we set up Kuro's mobile setup with his shield and everything to play some Street Fighter. And what was the other game that Tom was playing towards the end? Or no,
We're
Ben.
all playing Downwell, I think.
Yeah, Downwell or something where it's basically
like
you just drop shooting
game.
down at the...
We meant to do Bomberman, but we forgot about it.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Yeah.
And so because Kuro has this great little Asus mini projector, Pico projector, essentially, that works amazing. And which, by the way, you got my mother at the birthday party or something, looking at for business stuff. She's like, I need one of those.
These are super cool because they're battery powered. That's what makes them super cool.
Yeah,
You
it's
just plug
you
it, turn it on
truly don't
anywhere.
need other people to do what you're doing.
It's the Bluetooth speaker of TVs, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, as Lockham comes into the room, is hiding in the background, like, what's going on? But
There's a camera right there.
yeah, it doesn't matter. You're going to be seen, so
you're
just
gonna be
accept
seen.
that. Why are you confused? Oh, it's the show. But
She don't watch it.
yeah, she don't. So we had that going on upstairs, and that was a ton of fun. We eventually brought it downstairs to help educate some people. I was doing a longer activity during this process, but of Rick and Morty, right? Because there's a surprising number of us, me included, who still have not actually watched it.
That is terrible. The fact you guys haven't seen that show saddens me.
We need to, just sit you down and watch the whole thing.
I gotta do like some
Beginning to
Clockwork Orange stuff with you and just
Right?
like force your eyeballs open. Yeah.
So you do
It's
not get
worth it.
away until this is done.
Yeah.
No, but that got projected on the whiteboard. We found a new use for the whiteboard since we weren't using it for coordination. It actually works as a really
I'm gonna
good
find a
screen.
projector that we can leave down here. Then we can put all the TeamSpeak info on the whiteboard.
Just have it as a
and
digital,
have a
virtual
whole-
thing?
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
a virtual
Well, so you
whiteboard.
made me start thinking with the projector thing of getting two of those, hang them from the roof permanently there. And I was
Yeah.
thinking of one actually almost here.
That'd be
So
amazing.
that during the Gamefest show, I could pull that down and have like the screen with the
I
chat
want
up
to get
and stuff like that.
I wanna
That would
get
be legit,
3 of
yeah.
them and set them up with Eyefinity.
I
I think giant wide
people have done
wall,
that,
I think
and
that'd be
it's
super
insane.
fun.
But it's just pico projectors like that extend your whole world of like what can be done. Because just
Oh, that was cool.
HDMI and just boom, right?
Especially
Go.
with the Shield, that's really cool too, because that's a super portable little, fairly powerful little Android device, and you just plug that in, emulators, whatever you want, all the Android games. There's
Exactly,
really
you
good
can play
Android
pretty much
games out
anything
there,
on
too.
it. So that was awesome too. Outside of those, I guess I could mention. Let's see where we are. It's actually almost up to the break. So after the break, I'll get back to the non-gaming stuff we're doing. We only had the one true hardware failure, Biebz SSD.
Well, and the router.
Well, and the router.
Yeah.
The router served a couple years. It's been
But
doing
no full computers.
no full computer,
No
nothing
full
that
games,
fully
no.
destroyed themselves. Well, and the router thing, admittedly, right? Because we went to the candy store, and of course the guy who helped us had no idea,
No clue.
no clue.
at all.
It's one of those,
Yeah.
I threw the bone of like maybe I know you don't, but maybe you'll know more than I do,
That's what I do every time.
right? Just I
too.
tried.
Yeah,
and he
I've
said
done that.
words, and he was
I
kind of
help
like,
you?
yeah,
No.
no, yeah, exactly. I tried.
I remember this.
Unless you want to keep
have
me
you
company.
Do you know
Wanna hold
Ron
my hand?
Swanson?
Oh yeah.
There's a scene in his show where he's walking through a Home Depot, and the dude walks up to him, and he just walks by. He's like, "I know more than you," and he just keeps walking with his car.
Well, I mean,
Like,
that's-
that's exactly what it is.
that's
Every
how
time
it
I walk into a
felt.
Best Buy.
Yeah, oh, Best Buy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give credit to the candy store. Micro Center has actually employed some much more intelligent people.
Definitely.
They really have. Because I've gotten schooled before. There's one or two where I was like, well, actually,
And the PC
this one. I was like,
the components.
all
department,
right,
they've
yeah.
got a couple of guys.
They have a couple. There's still the guys who are like, oh, they hired you. Are you retired? Are you, what? You're a salesman? Wait, what? But no,
choice.
love the candy store, right? They still do great. They are the micro fries. They have a ton of selection. That's actually really good selection for what they
Oh,
carry.
yeah.
Went there to get the new router because that's the other thing. The other thing they had there, they were the first company I've seen that had TrendNet's or it's TP-Link, one of the two
Oh,
that had
those.
the new AD mouse or AD router. The first one of those on the market, they had that in stock, and we looked at it.
TP-Link
We're
has
like,
totally locked their
No.
firmware down. They have blocked everybody from doing any cool stuff. with
well.
it.
So the nice thing is,
Routers
I'm
at
happy
all.
we didn't get that one because this thing's a champ. This thing also provides so much new features that'll hopefully make your experience even better in the future.
Yeah, you
Le-
showed me all that Bluetooth crap, man. That was
Well, the stuff on my phone, I can monitor and control
amazing.
everything,
Yeah.
even to the point of like, oh, so you didn't lock your download speeds for your Steam? I can do that for you.
good for
Yeah.
you.
Bandwidth limited per computer.
So I
Done.
wonder if you can have it alert you if someone's using X amount of bandwidth.
So I need to look at if there's some because it has third party,
There's
right?
scripting in there, you
So
definitely.
well, it has a potential for third party apps. So I'm thinking I could probably add some third party apps and do some of my own.
Very cool.
And that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Things that are like automated or things to do off of, yes, how do I keep other people from destroying our network? But so far, we've been doing really good. So that's been good. We'll come back after the break. Going to play one of Leo's songs because we love some covers of pop songs with heavy metal. And if you guys haven't listened, it's
I've heard
great
them. They're
stuff.
great.
Yeah, that's great stuff. So one of the ones we've already had because I don't have Ken to feed me new ones. We'll come back. We're going to talk about us doing some non-digital gaming that lasted maybe 9 hours. And some stuff like
Where
that.
are you? Yeah, what-
Thank goodness for a very full Game Fest where we
I
could take
blame
8
their
of us or
wandering
went away
around
for
the
a long
whole time.
Hey, I was always there for my turns. As
I
well as taking
blame the
trash
wandering
out,
around
as
the
well
whole
as
time.
fixing things for other people and doing the whole hosting thing. I still
Oh, so
played.
it's Wayne's fault.
Oh, not just Wayne. It was the whole
I
party.
was good. All right.
ADD was strong.
It is time for us to take a break. We'll be back right after this with more discussions about Game Fest. And feel free to continue to email into the show because I would like to hear any questions you have as we continue to go forward with this. All right. I will talk to you guys after this.
Honda wanted you to check the email.
Send in your emails
Go on.
to showx@vtwproductions.com. You're listening to ShowX on vtwproductions.com.
on my mind. Don't wanna think about moves every time. And when you back a smile in everything you do, don't you understand, girl, this love is true. Your side's a credent, oh sweet and thin. That's kinda like a vision upon your skin. It lights up my day, and that's so true. Together we're one, separated we're two. So make you all mine is my desire. Cause even in the world to you that I admire. You're pretty plain and simple, you rule my world, so try to understand. I'm in love, girl. I'm so in love, girl. I'm just in love, girl. And this is true. Girl, you know it's true. I love you. Yes, you know it's true. I love you. Girl, you know it's true. My love is for you. Girl, you know it's true. My love is for you. This is some sort of thing, girl, I can't explain. My emotion starts up when I hear your name. Maybe your sweet, sweet voice ringing in my ear. Then I let my system go when you are near. Come with the positive emotion that I'm making, enjoying. That's what made it bust. It's like a girl and a boy. These feelings I get, I often wonder why. So I thought I might do something close to you and I. The will, I don't care, as I said before. The reason that I like you, girl, for what you are. If I said I think about it, you rule my world, so try to understand. I'm in love, girl. I'm so in love, girl. I'm just in love, girl. And this is true. Girl, you know it's true. I love you. Yes, you know it's true. I love you. Girl, you know it's true. My love is for you. Girl, you know it's true. My love is for you. I'm in love with you, girl. 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 Girl, you know it's true. I love you. Yes, you know it's true. I love you.
Hey everybody, and we are back. Sorry about that little snafu. For whatever reason, the first song I picked decided to just skip on through. So I don't know what happened with that, but you got to hear the, break stuff around the show before we started the show. So anyhow, we are back, and what we're going to start with discussing on, I know some of the people in the room be like, is that we also gave an attempt at doing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which using 5th edition rules that a large portion of us have gamed and done old-fashioned tabletop or pen and paper, pencil paper type gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, you name the games from back in the day, Rifts, Palladium, all the different systems, GURPS, all those kind of things. It's been a long time, at least for me, and I got a little jealous because I keep hearing people talk about playing these games, playing D&D and stuff like that, and they still play it and having fun. I haven't touched it for I don't know how long. So we played a campaign Earthweaver was gracious enough to get all the materials together and actually DM for us, put together an adventure, and then we spent some time rolling characters and getting things together. And we had a party of, it was a 6 party in DM. So we had a monk, we had
Monk, warlock, fighter, barbarian, wizard, warlock.
2 warlocks.
No, wait.
Warlock,
Cleric.
yes, because we had
Gwen.
Forks cleric. Gwen, who was the pretty thing. Anyhow, just to throw it off the bat, it took us 9.5 hours to complete our campaign. It was redunculous.
It could have gone shorter.
It could have gone. Partly, though, we hadn't ever played. Some people had never played, and we hadn't played for years and years and years. So it took a while. Plus, the first time playing 5th Ed, so it took a while to get into the game.
Getting used to not having as many rules, I'd say, was probably the
less rules,
thing.
more streamlined, things like that potentially. But I'll tell you, it was a good time. And we're not going to belabor this subject so we can talk more about the video gaming again and stuff, but it was fun. And mostly because the social interaction, when you're actually playing a game like that, or these role-playing games like that, it is about role-playing, being around the group of the characters, everyone being on the same page and trying to get through an adventure, and having a DM that's willing to make it a fun interaction, which we, I think, really had. Because everyone, even though it took an excruciating amount of time and the time away from us playing video games, we had fun.
And I'll say, I was surprised by what time it was when I looked down at the clock.
Yeah,
so it did actually go by really fast.
Well, because we started around noon.
Let's say 1.
Was it 1?
Yeah.
But we finished essentially at 9:30. We didn't even fight the dragon.
No.
We got all the way up to this large dragon encounter, and then we called it there. But this is all starting at level 1 characters and kind of starting through, and dragons at level 1 admittedly is tough. But we mostly made it through the campaign fine. We only had 1 potential death and some low hit points here and there. For the most part, it worked well. Little bits of confusions on rules in and out, but it was a wide, diverse group of people, and it was interesting to see. And it was funny because we tried very hard to mimic what's been done in good podcasts about, like from Matt Mercer and stuff with Critical Role and stuff about not how to play the game, have fun with it, and not overly get like too much meta, too much talking outside of your characters.
Thing, not to meta game, be your character. Realize you only know what your character knows, even though you see more than that and you hear more.
Well, and you may know the game enough to know what a creature is as soon as you see it. I was a Battleborn or a Dragonborn, and so for me, we were dealing with mostly dragon types and kobolds. I felt like I would at least have a little bit of understanding, like the drakes we ran into, stuff like that, because it's my people. But beyond that, I was trying so hard to roleplay it, and people would give me crap initially because they're like, "What's this pompous guy doing?" I was like, "I am 17 years old, a soldier, and a fighter, and I'm chaotic good." And so I believe the code of the world, and so I was really trying to play my part.
You did a great job with it.
And I think some people kind of missed on that. Although it's funny because of all the other people that surprised me with how well they roleplayed, it was Hostile.
Because that I wasn't surprised with just because of how much Critical Role we watched.
He watched a lot. But just for him to get into the character he played, because he was he wasn't the Warlock, was he?
Yeah, he was the
Warlock. But he was like the most timid, weak Warlock in the world with no health, and he was a perv. And he spent the whole time hitting on Gwen, hitting on our cleric. And it was funny because Hostile would do this, and Fork was the cleric. And in doing so, he would just be there looking at her and be like, "So, what you wearing?" And so it was great because Fork kept getting all creeped out by it a little bit, like, wait, excuse me. And, he was just role-playing the part.
Just because he tried to spoon with her.
Yeah, some of the rolls he did where he was like, "Can I do a dexterity roll and see if when we go camping, if I can spoon her without her knowing?" And he's like, "Okay, rolls." I don't know if he critically failed that one or
he just rolled lower than what she rolled.
She rolled a perception or something and found it and like reached around and like smacked him or something. And
the best part though was seeing reactions to people's rolls.
Oh gosh, so it's funny because my character actually had good stats across the board. But the whole beginning of the adventure, when we were doing things to figure out is something about to happen, I kept rolling 2s, 1s, 3s, 5s with negative like multipliers on my perception rolls, constant perception rolls. Is something happening? Oh, we're running down this road, there's bushes, and the guy next to us has good perception and a great roll, says, there is something in those bushes. I look, really? I don't see anything. Those are just bushes. You're full of it. Keep walking.
Great tunnel vision.
And the funny part is that happened so many times. Like almost every single perception check I did. Oh, these guys are going to go in the back of the bar and help clean up a room. Ends up getting mobbed by rats and mimic and things like that. My guys at the bar are waiting for the contact like, hey! And it's like, do you notice anything? Roll 2. Nope. I am looking at the bar.
Totally
waiting for
spacing
somebody.
off.
I was just like, holy cow. And they were getting a little annoyed because I know Hostile at one point at least got like, well, this guy's not doing anything. It's like, my guy is oblivious to the world. You need to come like grab him by the shirt collar to say, come play, come fight. And so I was really trying to play the character as best I could. I had a ball.
No,
I really did.
it was great. The fun part about it is you get all those inside jokes from it. You got Doc over here not paying attention to what type of sword he grabs. Well,
Hey!
The best part is, let's be fair, none of the magic users decided to help him out with the check because one of our other party members might have been polymorphed into a bunny.
Well, it wasn't even
And they're
just that.
more worried about the bunny than this blue
Well,
sword that's
the
now
one
in the
guy,
group.
the warlock with arcane magic.
No, the wizard did too. He just walked off.
But that was the thing. Yeah, you're right. It was the wizard. He just walked off on his own. As soon as we get back, it's like, here's this guy. He's a bunny. But I succeeded and got the sword. And then it's like, I have this blue sword in my hand, right? I'm like, I got the sword. Hey, I'm going to check it out. Everybody see this sword? And everyone walked away. And I'm just looking at the sword. So I checked. Yep, it's a blue sword. Looks pretty.
He had a great check on it, but he
I had
has
no
no magic
arcane,
ability,
so how do I
so
know? I'm a
therefore he
fighter.
knew nothing.
And so I didn't know it was a cursed sword. I didn't know that while it did a plus damage and plus to hit, that it was kind of needy and wanted to be the only thing in my hands, and how it worked against me later on. But I didn't know it would do that, but nobody helped me. So we never actually formed a party. We were a ragtag group.
So the problem with creating the party there is we had a grumpy old monk who just didn't care. We had a wizard with a criminal background who wanted to be a loner. So when they decided to actually, in the beginning, sit down and actually talk about what each other does, those two just walked off and grabbed some ale and just sat at another table. So therefore, the party really didn't know what they did.
Yeah, the rest of us sat down and said, so, I was like, hi, I'm Jungdalar. Obviously I'm Dragonborn. And I am a fighter. I was a soldier in our armies back in the day and got thrown high accolades, so I understand what I'm saying, but I am all about the swords and attacking and doing what's right in this world. And at that point, the monk was like, I'm off of this junk. And like wanders away, and I think it was the wizard, right? Or something. That's just like,
The monk walked off first, and the wizard walked off. Everyone else started
the rest of
talking.
us, like,
So it
shared.
was entertaining for me.
Who are we?
Being the DM, watching all this, going, this is going to be interesting later on because they really have no clue what each other does.
Yeah,
so
the
if we're
abilities.
helping each
We
other
never knew
isn't going to work.
that the wizard was a wizard. He never admitted it.
No.
He's wearing some off-color like rags, not even rags, but nothing that's like wizardry.
No, he just threw one spell basically once and missed before all this. So the best part about all this is the whole beginning part. The cleric did the most damage
Oh my god!
and did the most work.
The skinny little hot cleric girl in the party with a warhammer shield and chainmail was just crushing things. And it's funny though, and this again, where Hostile played the part, he fell in love with said cleric. His character was just like, hey. So anytime he would do anything, one, he would either be like, well, I missed that because I was too busy looking at Gwen's ass. And just the whole time. Or if he did cast something that's like going to cause damage, he was like, can I do a perception check to see if Gwen's watching me? And he's like, okay, I cast this and this, look over at her and wink. See how awesome I am? See what I just did there?
But now it is my belief that doors are the hardest monster in D&D.
Doors. Yeah, the other thing is having our barbarian, who was a half-orc.
They had a locked door that the key broke in. So our lovely half-orc barbarian goes to try to kick it open.
Bash the door with my foot.
Rolls a 1, critical fail. So
Slipped on the
he
dust on the
slips
ground.
On the dust, falls straight on his back.
Bangs his head, takes a point of bludgeoning damage because he's yes.
And then our cleric tries it and takes a big stomp
Well,
at it.
the best
and
part
still
is
doesn't break the
eventually
door.
she tries to kick it first. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I could have probably used my warhammer. And it's like, nope, you wanted to impress the half orc that fell on his butt, so you go to kick it. That failed. Was it eventually the warhammer that broke it in, or
I think they actually used magic and just blew
yeah,
it apart.
like wasted a
I
spell to
forget-
blow the door
I forget
open?
which one they did. Was it that or the Warhammer?
Oh, it was
Well,
so
it's the solution
silly.
to all problems is get a bigger hammer.
Well, it was funny. It was funny to listen to, but that was what made the game a lot of fun. It's just it did carry on. If we had this planned out ahead of time and could have played over multiple days, some of that it probably
yeah.
would have been great. I mean, even the Critical Role, they only do like the 2 hours of the actual game per show,
Well,
or whatever.
They started out with 5 or 6 hours, and
but
curtailed it to 3.
to make it. But it's easier to consume that way.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Even after 9.5 hours, we all admittedly had a blast and would do it again. And this was kind of precursor to seeing if we could do something online, since most of us live in different areas. We have different schedules. It's not convenient to always show up in the same place. So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
where that continues, but we had a lot of fun. So that was us doing non-digital gaming.
I think
for
the
half the day.
non-digital part might be good for a Thursday.
Well, we were
originally wanting to do it Friday morning.
Yeah.
But we just a factor
not
people
everyone
not
who
showing
wanted
up
to play was
Thursday.
there.
Oh, okay.
Nobody had pre-rolled the characters, so it's kind of a thing where it actually got pushed.
We were trying to
Saturday.
get
We
people
still wanted
to
to do it
show up
Friday.
Thursday to do it. We wanted to do it Friday, kept wanting to do it Friday, and then people just kept holding off because we wanted to do it before most people got here.
No, that makes sense.
Because
Yeah,
if we
so
would have
that-
done it Friday
yeah.
morning, it would have gone quicker because there wouldn't have been as many distractions.
So that was our challenge. We had planned to do it right, but then circumstances be what they were.
And
Good
we
old
just,
circumstances.
we just know if it does it in game, and we do it in a Gamefest setting again, we'll just put a 3-hour time limit on it and go.
And
we
just
go as
go
far
from
as we
there,
go.
yeah, something. So, but it was fun.
I can see it,
It
yeah.
was fun. It was fun.
Oh, I enjoyed walking by and calling you guys nerds. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, so since we have
Yeah.
Law Campette here, what was your favorite aspect of Gamefest this weekend? Because you can't come to these, and though, as we joked earlier, and play single-player games or not our games, but you seem to have fun and hanging out with everybody and being able to drink soda almost unvetted and candy and such. Because as you dumped your bag this morning, I saw just piles of candy there. Like,
Yeah.
I bet you don't get to do this at home. But what was your favorite thing in general about Gamefest this weekend?
I got to bring my friends.
This is true. We talked about that a little bit.
Make sure you
actually
talk on the
brought
microphone.
friends with you to Gamefest. And so, did you hear any response from them? Because they're your age. So it's that young, beginning of high school, other than, I forget his gaming name, but the one gentleman who's a junior in high school. Luke. But they each got to kind of experience. They had never seen it, never been here. Did you hear any impressions from them, or did they respond at all?
They really liked you.
So they really liked. Was there anything about it that you said that you would say that they really enjoyed, or that they commented like specifically when they saw it?
They enjoyed being able to play games with other people.
Actually, see that there's a bunch of these old people, old farts that actually still play video games. It's not just the kids these
Well,
days.
there's nothing like the camaraderie of nerds being around nerds.
Yep.
So that is the thing, right? In a way, we've jokingly said that things like Game Fest, like conventions, stuff like that, are our safe space, or whatever you want to say. I hate that, terminology, but we always say it's a place where geeks and nerds can be geeks and nerds. It's our place with our people doing the things we enjoy, and so that's something I really like about it. And so hopefully they got a sense of that, because I will admit, at least the guys that came by with you, they fit the mold.
Yeah.
They definitely look as though they spend more time indoors playing video games than maybe outdoors doing contact sports, if I were to guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nerdy kids, same as we were at their age.
Yeah.
Well, Faith plays tennis.
Well, it's funny. She was the one that I had playing like the
Yeah.
Mario and stuff like that. So she didn't bring her own computer rig. But even she seemed like she was having mostly a fun time kind of hanging out, not directly playing.
I
So
think
that
most
was
of your
cool.
friends also got to try the Oculus as well.
Yeah, they all tried the Oculus. I think you guys were some of the best reactions.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, and we were talking about it early, I'm really jealous of your generation, of your age, being able to be the first ones to have VR coming up at your age, because you guys are so quick to pick up games and the potential of new games. Because even when you played my DK1, the original one I had with Team Fortress, most of us played for 10, 15 minutes. You were on there for like an hour.
Dude,
Just crushing it, loving it.
just talking about that. So when Paz put Luke on the Oculus, it was that Cops vs. the Robot one, and he was just twitching all over the place.
Yeah,
Just
where you can even watch on the screen.
I'm
like,
watching on the monitor like, how are you doing this?
Right?
You're like,
Right?
yeah.
It's like, I'm throwing up watching you play this. And
I'm
not
watching
in
you on
VR.
a two-dimensional
Playing, getting
monitor.
busy.
Yeah, you're wrecking me.
Oh gosh, that was. But that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
In a way, that's who I'm really curious about, because we've been playing video games since
Since I was younger than her.
Yeah, I was gonna say since the Atari, right?
Yeah.
Since it came out.
And it was just a screen that showed something on it. Now you're getting immersed in a way that we could never really imagine happening. It was always a dream,
Yeah.
right? The ultimate geek dream to be in your games.
Yeah.
You're able to see it and actually go like, yeah, we need this to happen. Yep, that's right where we're going. And because everyone I watched play, I never saw you guys get sick. You all just started playing.
Yeah. They were all good with it.
I was just like, whoa, that's scary. But you guys are the ones that are going to benefit the most, because where we just have the beginning of some of this technology. And I love the generation we are, because we've experienced all the technology leading up to this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we started just after punch cards. And so we didn't get to
Yeah.
go through the true pain We started when it came to the homes, which is about the perfect time to start enjoying this kind of technology. For you guys, you're getting this refined. Everybody's got a smart device, kids with their own surfaces and stuff like that, where we had the family communal computer.
Hell, we had a family communal TV.
Yes, right.
And we had to fight for either TV or video game time.
Right.
Yes. Darn it, Dad wants to watch things. All right, we're going outside to play.
You turn the dial to change the channel.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, our parents need to make a phone call. Sorry, we can't
Get
be
online
anymore.
Yeah. What? The internet? Nope. Make the phone call. Oh.
Or an incoming phone call ruins the internet.
Oh gosh. Some picks up. Is someone on the internet? Oh, Mom. Yeah, exactly. You guys will never have to experience that.
Yeah.
You get to just enjoy the fruits of our labors and our experience, and just have great games. And admittedly, and like we've talked about, there are more good games being made today than we ever had.
There's too many.
And we can't keep up.
Yeah.
And you guys, oh.
Well, testing at school kind of feels like what you just explained, because the server starts to just die because everybody's on a computer doing testing.
Yeah.
So you're saying that basically the school network, since everything's gone over to
Government computers.
Yeah, gone over to school, over to digital everything, that it's maybe not fully.
They're used to having their nice private high-speed access and not having to share with more than just 3 people.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, for us, there's computers at school.
Yeah.
And not just typewriters or typing into a thing.
That's why I learned how to type was on a typewriter.
Seriously.
Yeah. Don't make mistakes.
Nope, our mom had one.
Don't scare them.
At least
They
have
wouldn't,
Macs.
there's no touch feature on there. They'd be scared.
Well, you talk about the ultimate mechanical keyboard.
Yeah,
back where you
God.
literally push it and turn the lever of the thing with thunk,
Clink.
thunk, thunk.
Yep.
Something they will never know. But no, that's good to hear. I'm glad they enjoyed themselves. Hopefully, I don't know if they've ever got on Rock Band or not. I heard she's a great singer. It would have been interesting to have heard that, because us singing is not.
I gave her my
Pure
DS,
entertainment.
and then she wouldn't get off of it.
Well, but that means she got to play too. That's good. Everyone playing games, which is huge. So that was awesome. What are some of the other things? So, or just stories or thoughts about the gaming we had this week as a whole. That was kind of a quick roundabout the whole thing. I also like to say we had way too much food this weekend, and which is never a bad thing, right? We got
It's
to
a
have
good
a
problem to have.
selection of what we wanted
We
to
didn't
eat.
have too much because we actually ran out.
No, there's still a
No,
whole casserole that
There's
hasn't
one
been cooked.
casserole. One casserole.
No, but all the taco stuff's just being now cooked.
Yeah, they're just
Is it
making.
now?
They're just making
They're
the
just
taco.
yeah. See,
Oh
see
my God.
that reaction
That's
right there.
ridiculous.
And
That
if you
reaction
look
right there.
if you look
Them
in the
saying,
freezer,
"Nope,
I
you're
think there's
good."
like 4
Well, we
cartons
still
of
have-
ice cream
we
still in
have
there.
the pizza rolls in there. We
Yeah.
still have I
Well,
never
they
brought out
did
my
pizza
pulled
rolls
pork,
last night.
Pizza rolls late last night. They
but
got
there's
that.
still a bag in there.
Okay.
Okay.
And I didn't pull out my pulled pork I made last week. That's frozen. There was too much food, and I keep
God.
trying to tell
My
people,
God.
stop going out and bringing more food. We have it. We just have to make it.
But
We
no,
did
don't
run
stop.
out of alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
No, we ran out of beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The alcohol I wanted to drink.
I was gonna say because I just had the next
Because I-
rum and coke this morning. So
I'm trying not to. Try not to have my old man hangovers. Yeah.
well, but in a way that was good, right? All right, so let's talk about the general flux of it. I want to talk stories of Gamefest because we hinted at Friday night being the drunken debauchery.
was
Drunken
typical.
lol.
Yeah.
Well, so it was, but there were new players.
Right.
Because
It wasn't the norm.
We were drunk, right? How we tend to. Sir Pencer was in his happy, comfortable, silly drunk, where he was tired, had a headache, but had enough alcohol in him that he still was running around causing a ruckus. And so there were multiple times throughout the time where Sir Pencer would roll up behind you, and you'd be like thrusted against or something, or just someone like suddenly touching you awkwardly, and you're like, "What?" You look back, it's like, and he'd just be like, "Hey," just being himself and being open like that. That was happening. Try that, for me, I actually was good with the buzz like the whole time. I don't really think I got drunk, but I think that's because I was running around so much. So Mike got drunk because he filled up one of the 40-ounce containers with sweet tea, and actually that was the culprit this weekend. Everyone else who just had fun,
The Firefly.
the Firefly and the Seagram's one we had of the sweet tea, as he brings up the mug that he was using, as he still has remnants in.
Yeah.
Because that thing was full Friday, and he started drinking down. Well, one of our other good friends, and sorry you're getting called out for it, but W Heat had a special moment because she was here. She's had her kids and stuff, and is always playing mom and doing things busy at home. So she was wanting to relax, and she came. And on Friday, she was kind of like, you know what? I want to have a drink. I have a couple drinks. I'm actually going to let myself enjoy it a bit. Have some drinks.
That she did.
So the challenge came as I taught her. She wasn't sure. I was like, someone had mentioned sweet tea or something. She's like, well, I'm Southern, da da da, and that's like home. I was like, oh, let me get you something. Because she saw the Firefly that's back there on the table.
Yeah.
And she took like a little bit and drank it right out straight. And I was just like, whoa!
That's not how you do that. Yeah.
Because she was kind of like, I was like, it was like, no, you did that wrong. Like, what do you mean? It was like, no. You need to fill that halfway with water at least. You know, if you're starting maybe, 2/3 water, 1/3 Firefly. And then work it from there.
Yeah.
Start that way. So I made her a little bit, or I had a version of the Seagram's one, and I gave her a taste. And she was like, oh, that's just sweet tea. Oh, that's nice. And I told her how to make it, right? It's up there. And that's the last I paid attention.
Well, until you could not pay attention.
He was upstairs, so he didn't get the full effect of it most of the time, but the rest of us...
I got the full effect. I just kept bouncing around. But there was a point where it was during lull, because WH, she loves playing ARAMs and lull and stuff, and she's all right at it. But she hit that critical point. We all have that point with alcohol where you still do okay. You have a point where, in fact, you get a little looser, maybe perform better, because you're just doing and not caring as much. But then there's a tipping point, and anyone who's drank has probably experienced this, and it's usually playing pool, bowling, darts, things like that. Well, it absolutely applies to gaming. I know Campo knows it. Thus the other nickname of El Drunko when that applies. And then, hey, what's going on, Zach? And then, in doing so, there's a point where W Heat hit where she could no longer function appropriately.
She went past that point.
Well, yeah, that was. So she got to the belligerent, noisy, drunk level.
Yeah.
Where, thankfully, she's not a mean person. She's not aggressive. She's a happy drunk.
Yeah.
But she was at that drunk of the person who can't, manage their volume.
She also could not manage her feet.
her
Or
feet.
hands.
Or
She did talk about her hands.
So being the person playing LOL with her, it was great during our 5-man, because it was fine because we were all just laughing. But when we went to 4-person, so we had one random person. That person
raged so hard. Because she was playing Vygar.
She was just throwing spells out randomly because she had
rolling
no
her fingers
clue.
through the keyboard. And when not near any combat, just drop everything on creeps.
And the bad part is we weren't saying anything to help out because we were too busy laughing our heads off the whole time.
So bad. We knew we were going to lose. It was like, nope, that's done. But it was entertaining. And she was just, to the point of I can't use my hands. They're my hands.
I don't know what they're doing.
Wait, was she the one that was yelling?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, Campette, that would be the one, if you ever noticed. Eventually, tried to take care of her, set her aside out of the gaming, give her some music to listen to her computer. She didn't want to leave the chair. She's like, I'm comfortable here. Set some pads out, some of the microphone pads. Here, sleep on this, sleep on this. I finally gave in. I said, nope, we're taking you out, because she was so leaned far over in the chair that I thought, okay, you have just enough consciousness to maintain balance. That's it. The moment you knock out, you're spilling on the floor, and I can't let that happen.
Yeah.
And so I basically picked her up and helped walk her upstairs and put her to bed for a little while to help sober up, and then fed her water and ibuprofen. I don't want you to be dead tomorrow. I'd like you to be able to at least play games here. Which...
She did okay.
After that, it was good. And the next day, she was hungover, but she maintained it. She was playing games and actually participated, so she did good. And it was bad, too, because right as she was truly dropping out, her husband had been chatting her on Steam. And it was like, so are we playing? And I kind of popped out. I looked. I was like, oh. I had to respond this is Wayne. No. No. Your wife is done. But yeah, that was entertaining.
She's in her happy place. Leave her there.
Yeah, I think your wife had a good point at some point where she had a good amount of alcohol, and I know Saturday night she ended up passing out on the couch for a couple hours. As people were watching some shows and things. It was, like I said, in general, there were people everywhere, people having fun. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time, and so hopefully all of you guys too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely,
as usual.
And thank you for hosting.
Oh no, I enjoy hosting. I do. It's fun. It's one of my things. This is kind of a challenge because it's birthday party, then me in Nebraska, and then hosting, and then in 3 days, 4 days, I'm flying to Canada for a week and a half, and then so it's been a consistent challenge for me just being busy. But I think it's all worked out, and has been an absolute blast. So I know I've been having a good time.
Pause.
And I equally appreciate you guys all coming.
How ridiculous do you think I was at OS?
Yes.
You improved significantly since the last time I saw you.
God, if we could just channel you to play some League of Legends.
Or an actual game.
Something that takes those finely
A real
skills.
game. Yeah.
Well, we keep commenting that Campet has these skills that we in our generation didn't have to have and didn't develop. The ability to finally click and like the mouse motor control over just discrete movements very quickly with a lot of clicking at timeliness, because OS is just a rhythm game. I can play that game on like a 2-star rating, maybe 2.5 if I'm doing all right, 3 at certain slow songs. Campet, I've seen her play at 4 or 5-star ratings.
7 stars about my limit.
But that's, as we talked about, that's Korean level. That is people who are brought up to only game with point-click gaming ever. And you have that ability. So if I could just put you on any RTS where that actually matters,
Right.
man, would you wreck people. Just saying.
So on a different note, I want to talk about this article that Paws posted.
All right, so with that, we are officially going to switch over and say...
Technology, news, and more. Today on the Geekoscope.
We're going to talk about some news, since we've pretty much covered Gamefest, and that's good, and we've got about half hour to go. So we can talk about some articles and things that we care about in the world. So the first one we're bringing up is an article from PC Gamer that, I don't know if you found it just random, or Spice, you found it?
I found this actually quite a while ago, and I just saw it again today. So I decided to post it to Facebook again. Keppo took it up and share it with everybody else.
That was a freaking cool article. I read that and I had to share it.
So the article from PC Gamer is how one CSGO player took catching hackers into his own hands.
By making fake hacks.
And so in this, the basic article says, cheating in CSGO is its own small sub-industry. A hard-to-kill parasite riding on the skin of one of PC's most popular games. Some ne'er-do-wells get off avoiding the notice of the VAC system for as long as possible. Others leverage cheating as a profitable enterprise, offering premium programs and services. Some professionals even use cheats during competition, which has ended their careers when found. For Valve, combating the risk of hacking is an endless war. Just last week, and this is a little older, Valve's elimination of a popular Team Fortress 2 cheat nabbed nearly 170 pro TF2 players. And last year, it dealt over 1 million bans to suspected accounts, with ownership counts likely exceeding 20 million. CSGO likely represents a significant chunk of that figure.
So he's the Batman of the gaming world, basically.
Yeah, justice.
I encourage everyone to do this. If you have the know-how to write code like this, write the fake hacks.
All right, so can you explain to us what was done to help him fight and catch these hackers?
It's actually pretty simple. So here he has the know-how to create these hacks, but he wants to use it for good. So what he does is he hooks up with a VPN, goes onto the hacking forums, posts a fake hack in there. That's not. It's actually usable. It actually works, but it has a timer on it. So after a given number of days, so I think his first one was 3 days, that it would trigger something with was it VAC?
Was it actually like it added to the VAC ban or something? Or?
And it would immediately VAC ban him. As soon as they start up the game, it would VAC ban him. Like, so, it would poke VAC. And it would immediately ban him. Or ban whoever had bought the hack. So he made money off of this as well, which is, he ripped off the people buying hacks.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, everybody's fine
awesome.
with it, right?
Should be,
And so many people have bought that it ended up being, how many thousand people the first time? I can't
so he has a list on here of bans where it has an overall trend, and it shows an uptick in the trend.
Right.
Where it went up probably a good 30 or 40% in the first release when he released it, like how it spiked for how many banned accounts hit, to in the second release it had just a small, quick, like, smack.
Well, the second release was actually his one that as soon as they start up the game, it would ban them right away without any kind of timer at all.
Oh,
they would just gone.
Well, then the third, so then it dropped down for a bit, and then the third release, it almost, like, another 2/3 of jump up in how many accounts got banned because of running this hack.
And he would just use a different VPN and different forums to post these hacks.
You could post as anything, right? But the beauty of this is because, at least for us, I have never in my life actually even seen where you get a hack. Because I haven't cared. I've always had to,
it's basically darknet.
Well, yeah, I know it's out there, and I know I could find it if I really tried. But I've never had the need or desire. to
Right.
try to hack at a game. Because for me, the whole point of those games is to show how good I am.
Well, it would take the fun away from it, I think. It would defeat the entire purpose.
Unless you have a huge ass ego, which you have to defeat.
Well, so the
constantly.
challenge is, right, because we've talked about this, because we run into games where people were hacking. Like, there is no question this MF is hacking.
Yeah.
And we'd stop and say, how is that fun? But, and much like you see this, it kills me because we talk on gamer chat and stuff like this, and other places are saying, it's the same reason like when my Twitch channel has 0 viewage, right? Because I'm not, one, a belligerent ass, you know, an egomaniac, or any of these things when I play a game on Twitch. I just play the game, we have our general conversation a lot like this, and it's kind of just entertaining on that level. But I'm not trying to entertain masses in the sense of going out and purposely trying to make a name for myself or cause drama anywhere, right? I'm just doing my bit. And so, but what's popular on Twitch are these people who get out there and are over the top. And I think that's actually created this weird thing in the community where people think that's how you're supposed to play games.
Yeah, it really
is that you're
has.
supposed to play games as an asshole and you're supposed to yell at people and scream and do all these stupid things or just troll.
Yep.
You know, that somehow that's fun. And people have gotten that into their head where they don't just play the games. And that's, I think, what screwed it up.
It's like its own metagame.
Yeah, it's
weirdness.
Well, I've seen it. I've talked to people who was like, no, I'm just going to troll this whole game. I was like, how is that fun? I don't understand. I honestly do not understand how trolling is fun like that.
Feeding off the misery of others, perhaps.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's like sarcasm in the sense that it's like the lowest form of comedy, right? It's the lowest form of entertainment. That you're beating on people in some way, making their lives more miserable to make you feel better. You're a parasite when you do that, right?
Yeah.
You're not benefiting society or anyone.
Well,
so
this article said it great. Yeah.
It's just...
That's a good article.
Yeah.
That's the first
so-
I've ever seen it.
So it's one of those things that we don't understand it. So it's just so weird for me whenever I run into people who are
It's
hacking.
this generation for sure. I mean, you look at all the YouTube channels that have become really popular.
There are
There are some really stupid prank ass ones.
yeah, it's the stuff that
makes
it's the
sense.
lowest forms, right? Lack of intelligence.
Yep.
Just it is that step towards nothing but dick and fart jokes.
Yep.
That's what we're at with a lot of that entertainment, and I really fear for those people who that's what you want out of life. And I'll admit, we had our moments. We presented and brought up Jackass. We did.
Yeah.
We still chuckle about it, but you notice it went away. So we perpetuated pieces. We brought you the Jerry Springer show.
It's a phase.
Right.
We did that, but then we grew up.
Yeah.
We got
grew out
past
of it
that
pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean it was a moment, and we got out of
The
it.
internet did not.
No, the internet
stuck on it.
continues down that trash. So no, that is a good article, and I do appreciate that too. If anyone out there wants to help troll the hackers,
Right.
Yes, do it.
that I support, because there are people that are ruining the games for everyone else. And if you somehow, and I've berated people who have come into our TeamSpeak and ever having admitted they even have touched a hack.
No, it's banned.
Well, I mean, we've had a few that
Yeah.
it was little things where they're like, oh no, I only turn on hacks during zombie mode, or something like that. I'm like, then you suck at zombie mode. Stop playing it, or get better. I mean, it's one of the few things where I love VTW, and I don't want to change from that, but one of the gaming groups I'm aware of out there that I can kind of go in like a moonlight as is Get Good Gamers, because it's one of the ones from our gamer chat stuff that it's Get Good with like GUD type thing, but that's kind of the answer, right? If you're failing at something, instead of hacking, get good, play the game, and you can get better. And if you still fail at the game, then maybe it's not your game. It's okay.
And if you get better, you're going to feel better about it.
Yeah,
right?
because hacking doesn't make you feel good. Hacking strokes your ego real quick because others suddenly think you're good, but you're that office ass that spends all his time telling people how good he is and never does anything.
You can't buy real skill in life, but you can damn well buy it online.
Well, it's not buying real skill, it's buying
No, not real
fake
skill.
You can buy perception.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Are you
talking about
your crappy perception rules?
No, I talked about that earlier. Did talk about crappy perception rules earlier.
Different type of perception.
I missed it. You
talking
can
about
just keep your bunny self away.
Alright, so, other than that,
threatening.
article I have here it's not a big article, but just get your guys' opinion on it. General geekdom is we've seen a few things that have come up lately that are movies and such that are being made from various IPs, including games. Games seem to love to bring about some movies. So this is an article from CNET that is saying that Two of our old classic games are getting movies. It says Centipede and Missile Command, the Atari games, are getting movie deals.
That makes me sad. I die a little bit inside.
That's kind of hilarious to me.
It says, look at things like Resident Evil, look at Tomb Raider, and stuff like that have been successful and have made some good movies.
Actually have stories.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
like
it says,
Pac-Man or some shit.
according to Deadline, Emmett Furla Oasis Films has just signed a deal to produce 2 feature films based on the 80s video games. The game Centipede focuses mainly on shooting deadly centipedes, spiders, and scorpions and fleas weaving through a field of mushrooms. Missile Command game has the gamer protecting 6 California cities. I didn't even know these cities had names. Eureka, San Francisco, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and San Diego from smart bombs, bomber planes,
I guess so.
and satellites launching missiles. And never knew, right? Because what are they but these little, like, color, not even different color things on the ground, right? On the bottom.
They have imagination.
Just shapes.
And so really it doesn't say anything about it other than the deals have been signed. But obviously, I'm already hearing a bit of a groan from the group here. But do you think there's any like potential for these movies to be good?
Potential to fail?
Good? No.
Maybe
Well, watched? Sure. Free on Netflix?
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Maybe they can be so
$3.99?
bad. They can be one of those movies that can be so bad that it might be good, but
I could see it being one of those Game Fest Friday nights. Throw it on.
In the background?
Yeah, in the background.
I would say that's oh gosh, I just don't know. I don't understand why.
because they ran out of ideas again.
Well, yeah, exactly right. It's the usual. We're lazy and we're not actually going to have screenwriters or try to come up with new IP. So let's continue to do the throwback mentality and just try to make old stuff. I don't know.
That's what's hot right now is feeding on that need for a sequel or just throwback this, throwback that. I mean, that's what Nintendo is making a lot of money off of, essentially.
True.
I mean,
Yeah,
they made a
Star Fox.
business of it, quite literally.
Yeah.
But
This is a throwback to nothing.
yeah, seriously.
Well,
I mean,
From a
it's a throwback
story
to
stand-
old games,
From
but
a,
I mean,
from a story standpoint, there's nothing there to begin with.
well, let's make a movie about the worst video game of all time, E.T. Wait.
that one was one of those, like, if that had been done the other direction, right?
Right.
Because E.T.'s great, old classic, right? But if that had been the video game first, and then they were trying to make a movie out, oh, God.
Can you imagine?
Maybe that's what happened, right? Maybe someone mistook the timeline of that. That they thought E.T. came out as a video game, and then they made the movie.
You know what 80s video game needs a movie? Was it Spy Hunter?
So
car
did
to
they
the
ever?
boat?
Oh yeah,
Did they ever actually make Spy Hunter?
They did have that game, and it was actually pretty cool. It
Well-
was for the original Xbox.
Well, no, but did they ever make a movie out of it?
I don't think
No,
Because I heard
no.
rumors, right? Because again, it's
That would've
essentially a James Bond.
Hey,
But
you
almost-
give me explosions and action,
Well,
I'll
okay,
watch it.
come on, Spy Hunter, right? What is
There has
Spy
to be
Hunter?
nudity in there somewhere.
Well, what is Spy Hunter other than the transporter,
Right.
or
It's a mix of
from
different
scenes from James Bond,
ones.
all the different things where it's just a vehicle, right? So you do a plot line that's essentially you gotta stay in the car, right? Similar to those, but you got to get from here to there in this time, or it's all done and and you go, and you just But it could be,
Yeah.
but that's where that
I'd
could be
watch
fun, right? Because there's the other.
More potential.
There's some
than those
other.
two.
There,
Right?
exactly.
No
exactly.
kidding.
There's
Let's
some
see
other.
giant mushrooms floating in the air.
Well, but did you guys see Need for Speed?
Yes.
The movie.
Yeah, that's actually pretty decent.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, it
Like,
was.
almost liked it better than what was the other car
CG what's
racing
his
one that was
face?
ever running? But well, no. Fast and Furious has its own special place in the world. And they got good later.
Yeah.
Well, 1 was good for what it was.
They got
2,
better.
3 sucked. 4 was like, what's going on? And 5 through have been
Kinda went
actually
up and
getting
down.
better and better. Where they actually said, wait, we can make these real movies and have writers. What? Real talent? What?
Yeah.
18 speed
5, 6, and
gearbox.
7 have been good.
I would say those translated out pretty well.
Well, that's it. But Need for Speed's good. It's actually like silly plot for the most part, but the cars they had, the action, it actually worked. I was entertained, and not in just a cheesy way.
Because it wasn't all about what the gameplay was. It was actually about the stuff surrounding the gameplay.
No, they made
You know?
a movie
Yeah.
with the concept,
Right.
but they did a
This
good
seems
enough
like
job.
it's doing it totally backwards.
Well, we have no idea.
Where they're
right?
going to concentrate on the gameplay.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
In what setting do you shoot it
So-
like?
I mean, look
20
at
tall
Battleship.
mushrooms?
Oh,
Pixels.
gosh, please don't look at Battleship. No. So the funny part is we've already done this, and you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
Pixels was this movie,
Yeah.
right? Because it
Well,
had.
they had
But it's
Centipede.
So it
Yes.
was you're satirical.
Well, and it's bad because Pixels wasn't
Anything Adams.
garbage, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't meant to be a blockbuster.
But I'm saying,
like
but it
it's-
wasn't.
yeah.
It wasn't garbage, but it wasn't good. It wasn't like Waterboy or any of those kind of things that are truly funny movies.
Oh, right.
This was entertaining in a light-hearted
It
little
was meant to
degree
be enjoyed from your computer.
for a moment
Yeah.
in the sidelines. It's not like we need to sit down and watch Pixels, guys. No,
It's not a classic.
no.
It served its purpose. I watched it and like, yep, that was a movie. And moved on with my life.
It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I think I feel the same way that, come on guys, you don't need to troll just any IP and say you can make it into a movie. That's not even just lazy. I don't know, it almost seems like it's more work.
It's Hollywood going with trends that they think are going to work, and they're not.
It almost seems like malice.
Yeah, dude,
Like you're just trying to destroy my childhood.
Right?
It's almost like they're just capitalizing on people that just have to go see that movie.
Well,
Like, I've got to go see Pixels. Doesn't
Waiting
matter
for the
if it's good
Donkey
or
Kong
not.
real life movie.
yeah, well, we had that. It was called King Kong back in the day.
yeah.
We don't need it again. Well, so that's another trend, and we're geek enough to talk about it, but the whole level of remakes that are coming out,
Ugh.
and I'm not
ridiculous.
even going to hit the big one that we've all kind of talked around before that's hitting here soon. That's just a visual show and not necessarily going to be good. But the one I want to talk about is that they're remaking, Ghostbusters.
Oh, there we go. I was like, where are you going with this?
Well, I was going
I
to
know
try to
exactly
stay off
where
that
it's
one
going.
because
I've actually already forgotten about that one.
Well, because people are trying to push
Black
other
remember.
agendas. People are trying to say other reasons people aren't going to watch that movie. The people who are hating are trying to say it's solely because there's a women's cast, and therefore we're all misogynists.
Speaking
because
of
we
all
play video games.
women's cast,
Yes.
did you see the DC movie, Harley Quinn? All
Oh,
female?
getting announced for her
Yeah.
own movie with.
Totally seeing that.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll see
Hands
because
down.
I'm still on the level. I have not seen Batman vs Superman. I have
Yeah.
no
Me-
real
me
desire
neither.
to. Maybe when it hits
No.
video for free.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people trying desperately to defend it. Where I truly enjoyed Civil War and Deadpool was outstanding.
Deadpool's
Absolutely.
great.
Yes.
And so, but BVS people will be like, no, it was good. Damn it, I said so. Where Suicide Squad, I'm still on the fence.
I'm waiting for it to be free. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's not
It's
out
not
yet.
out
It's
But
not
I
out
used
yet.
to love Harley Quinn as a
Well,
kid.
so I love Harley Quinn as a
Yeah.
character. I just don't know about this rendition. We'll
Yeah.
see. I hope it's good. Because now that they're already pushing for a Harley Quinn herself movie, which means we'll probably get the Poison Ivies, we'll get potentially a Catwoman, stuff like that. Just usually it's that whole
Well,
female
they've already
Batman
said
cast.
Typically, that's what they're doing.
Well, say
It's gonna be all
I don't
that.
know
yeah.
which characters fully, right? There's a whole selection to pull from, but let's say it's usually all of the Batman universe female cast is
I
what
think
Harley
they
Quinn
said Ivy and
surrounds.
Catwoman already. The other ones are still great.
Yeah, like I said, because Ivy has to be there because they're basically
Right.
lesbian lovers,
Absolutely.
and so
And you have to play off that.
well, people do. Well, it's entertaining to watch how that all plays out in the comics, but that could be awesome. Right, because Harley Quinn's one of my favorite DC characters that came out of not even the comics, but came out of the
Right.
show. So I have seen that's happening. That looks potentially good. But the other remake I was talking about is, and you guys may not care as much, but they're basically remaking Rocky Horror Picture Show.
What?
What?
I didn't even hear about
That's
that.
weird. Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch that at all.
Yeah,
It's,
and they're doing a female lead for Doctor Frankenfurter, and they're basically switching up all the roles a bunch, and doing a modern version of it. And the reason I brought this up, it's just like there's discussion about them doing a remake of Labyrinth with David Bowie and such, the original David Bowie Labyrinth.
No.
But right, you see those reactions
No.
is what I'm
Don't touch
curious
those.
No.
about. That's kind of what I was getting to, and I just wonder if it's just me.
With malice. That's
And
what that is.
yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
that's what
get
made
away
me start
from
thinking about, right?
Yeah.
There are certain movies,
Top Gun.
and
Getting remade.
I think there are certain movies that you
It hurts my head.
Well, there's certain movies you don't ever need to remake. They were good. The originals were so good with such iconic actors and actresses, and the performances being amazing that just let them lie as the classics.
It'll become one of those movies that we'll pretend never existed.
Well,
like
we already
what?
are, right?
Yeah.
We did that with the Avatar movie from Shyamalan,
Yeah.
Ding Dong, Last Airbender.
You mean Ferngully?
Yeah. Well, no, not that one. But the actual Bender one that's
X-Men.
just...
Oh, an Airbender.
Yeah, the Airbender one
God,
that
had
was...
so much potential.
Right? It's just-
Once upon a time.
those movies that just go away, right? Because, like, no, that
There's
never
all
happened.
these great things that then you sit there and you hear the words live action and you go, why?
There's
Yeah.
just... Well, I mean, there's some
Sometimes
things...
it works. But
No,
other times
they
it's
had
like, get outta
potential,
here.
but there's certain IP... I'm just saying classic movies, right? Don't touch it.
And look
Don't-
at Jungle Book.
Well, the new Jungle Book,
Right.
though, was neat
I've
because that
actually
was
heard-
live action.
I've heard good things
I've
about
heard
it.
good things
Jungle
about
Book's
it. I
great.
have.
Ken and I both saw it. We really liked it. It's a good movie, and it's just enough throwback.
But did
it's not
Baloo
the
sing
original.
Bare
It's a
Necessities?
Yes.
throwback. It's
All
not
right.
a remake.
It's
Right.
well, it is. It is and isn't. It's not a straight remake of the cartoon. For
Right.
one, they added other plot points. The CG's amazing in it, and the acting of this little kid against green screen everywhere is great. But they make a solid storyline that makes you care about these CG characters that look pretty real, and they just touch on the singing.
Yeah.
There's 2 songs in it, really, and they just touch on the singing. But,
even
when they do it,
before-
you're like, yeah.
But even before the movie came out, it was like it wouldn't have, hurt the cartoon that there was another movie coming out. It wouldn't, it wouldn't have done it bad. I mean, even if it failed, it wouldn't have
So
mattered.
you think the Airbender movie hurt the cartoon?
I think so.
Well,
I think so.
It hurt the future of ever doing anything good with Airbender. And Legend of Korra didn't help either because they got lazy towards the end. But, well, fan service, come on. A Nickelodeon show, come on. But
I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm going to say, the original Airbender's amazing.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra started off good, and I liked what they're doing, and then it just kind of blah.
They had some issues, sure.
Well, once the Spirit World crossed over, it just lost its focus completely.
It did.
So
I
anyway,
agree.
but I'm just talking about, just don't touch, right?
Right.
Don't make another Princess Bride.
No, absolutely not.
Don't.
There's no
Don't
reason
even
to
mention it. You just gave them an idea.
Right? That's it.
They're listening.
Right.
right now.
Go away, Hollywood.
Oh, man.
Get out.
There's
Like,
just certain
that
things
one.
that the originals are classics, and there's certain roles, right? Because in a way, when certain actors pass away,
It's over.
that's theirs. You put that to bed.
The Big Show is going to be the giant.
No. Andre is gone.
Please don't. Please don't.
Andre's gone. Just stop. Leave it
Well,
there.
because here's the thing, right? How much stuff did Andre the Giant do when it comes to movies?
I'll be honest,
right?
I can't think of anything else right now.
But man, the Princess
Did a
Bride.
decent. No,
But the Princess Bride was
But
like
that
just
was his.
thank you.
Whatever
right?
else he did.
Yeah.
But that was it. It was so good. So like the Labyrinth, David Bowie's gone.
Yep.
Don't you step on the Labyrinth. You'll never get a better Goblin King. You just
it wasn't
won't.
that long ago that we lost them.
No, it's like what? Did he die?
Come
And suddenly
on.
you're like, oh, you know what?
It wasn't that long.
Oh, just don't, people. Just leave our class. Because here's the thing: is it so wrong, Hollywood, for us who are people with kids to take a moment and actually have their kids watch and experience old things? Is it really so bad? We do it with things like
Neither does Dallas.
That remake.
That was another one with the remakes like but we do it with Gone with the Wind. We do it with the Christmas Story, right? We do it with all those kind of things that just don't redo those. They already exist and they're good. They are the classics people watch over and over. Leave them alone. Yeah. It's one thing when you're ruining all our games by trying to say they need to go to the silver screen, but leave old good movies alone. Just do.
Yeah.
Now, on a good note, though, there's things like Doom, where if you're going to remake a game,
do it right.
Do what Itsoft and Bethesda did.
Not like Duke Nukem.
No, not like Duke Nukem.
Well,
no,
that was designed for failure just from the get-go.
Yeah, not like Daikatana type stuff, but when you're going to remake a game, do what Itsoft did and remake the original game like you would today, and watch people love it. And it's great because I say this, I'll keep pushing on Doom just because I've been loving it. Everyone I know who's actually played it has loved it. And it's one that when I watched the Kids React channel on YouTube and they went back and had these kids play the original Doom.
Yeah, that's good.
The way they enjoyed it. Talked about the magic that was that gameplay.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned, run and gun, health pots, armor, all that in a really just action sequence. Even in that old 16-bit, pixelated stuff that they did in the original. When these kids played it, they initially were like, what's this? And then they started playing, they were like, this is really fun. It's like, yeah!
Because there's violence.
Easy, and it's,
What was hilarious, and
blood, gore.
The initial part of the game was they gave them the disc to install the game.
What
am I supposed to... What is this?
It's like, and to the classic, and I've heard so many times the one guy who said, did you guys 3D print the save button?
Yeah.
It's just,
it was funny the other day, I had to tear apart my stereo to fix it. So I had to take out all those CDs that were in there, long-forgotten CDs.
Yeah, stuff that would have come out.
There's 20 or 30 of them in there, and I put them on the counter. My daughter comes by and says, what are these? These What is this for? Is this?
Oh.
And she said, "Was this something you install a program on your computer?" And I'm like, "Oh, at least you know that much."
Yeah, at least you understand.
I was like,
that
"Oh,
it can
these
be.
are this music."
This is what music comes from.
She's like, "What? Like on iTunes?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
It's that big section in Best Buy that's right in the middle that nobody goes to.
And I'm like, "Yeah," because her entire life, she's never rolled up a window. She's never had to rewind a tape. She's never had to clean a cartridge so it plays a video game. Clean a CD.
Tell me you saw that the other day.
The one about Nintendo's finally old enough for you to blow it?
Yeah, the cartridges are finally 18.
Yeah, that was 64 though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nintendo 64.
Finally old enough you can blow it, yeah.
And she's never had to clean a fingerprint off a CD so it wouldn't skip. Or
Never actually use the disc repair things?
Right.
Oh, the actual spinning disc thing?
Yeah. Or have to worry about
I don't miss
shaking
that.
it so it doesn't skip.
Oh,
like
gosh.
keeping it
Well,
nice and
no,
still.
I love the discussion when,
Or even when you're riding on the bus and you had to cradle it. So
when the anti-skip wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I always talk about my brother and I when we used to ride around in my car with the tape deck adapter, right? My little old T1000. That the first CD players and getting a portable one that didn't have anti-skip. And it was his job to hold it as we were cruising. And eventually it had anti-skip. And I remember when 20-second anti-skip hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, watch this. It's still playing.
It made my job easier in the vehicle.
Yeah, no
You
doubt.
could actually you could set it down.
Yeah.
You could walk with it.
Yep.
You know, stuff. But yes, it's interesting to see those generational things. But no, the fact that you can.
And all the
batteries
games
that would go dead after like
all
a
the video
day.
games she owns, not one of them is
And
there
she
a
had
hard
to
copy.
actually install.
Yeah.
There's no hard
It's
copy,
hit a
no
button,
booklet.
wait
no,
a little bit, maybe hit yes twice, and then hit play.
Done.
What a world.
No concept of the amount of memory it's taken up. No concept of
Well, so this goes
what
back
GPU
to
you
the
need.
the
Yeah.
fact that as she's over there playing Undertale right now on your throwback gaming rig that has a
such a good
970
gaming
in
rig.
it.
Yeah, she's got such a
She has a better gaming hardware than my brother who
what I
does
have.
right now. And
She's playing
Oblivious,
an 8-bit game.
playing
with it.
Undertale.
It plays it really well though.
It's super smooth.
A couple thousand frames per second.
oh gosh, yeah, we should really
good.
see what the rendering speed on Undertale
It's
is.
infinity. It's just
Can you sample that quick?
Well, because it's not 3D; it's a 2D game.
Right.
So what is 2D rendering speed now?
Task manager in the
gosh.
background is consuming more resources.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh yes, kids these days, you are so
I
spoiled
bet
in a good way.
TeamSpeak's consuming more resources
Than
than that game
actual
she's
Undertale.
playing.
Right.
Oh gosh, no, it's
Wrapping my head around that one right now.
yeah, take a moment and let that sink in.
Ouch.
So, but and we are admittedly in a section of privileged gamers here in this basement. I think all of us, in that for the most part, we have the technology we want. We game the way we want. We talked about the new technology we're getting or have already got that's silly in most cases. So admittedly, that's who we are, right? We do focus a lot of our resources on gaming. And admittedly, for those out there listening, because I know there's a large, diverse group of like what your resources are, we aren't all like rich or anything like that. Some of us have decent jobs that do pay the bills and allow us to do a lot of things. Some are more in the military, doing other things that are a little more your average Joe kind of jobs, and still people that come here that are working your regular minimum wage kind of things. It's focus. It's making sure you pay all your bills, and that's important first. Eat, have food or have food, shelter, those kind of things first before your gaming habits and hobbies. But then it's understanding you can still enjoy life and spend those things. So we do it. We do it maybe a little more often than others. And as I jokingly said with the router, right? As soon as that broke, we were like, let's go buy the biggest thing they have. That should fix it.
Well, and we did that so maybe it won't break again.
For a long time. It's an investment.
Yeah.
It's an investment in the future. It's not just because we're, well...
Let's not duct tape it. Let's
It's not
actually
just that. Yeah, because we did, look, we could do an incremental increase.
Yeah.
But this should be like, you will survive.
Yeah.
Through the
Otherwise, we'll
Holocaust.
feel like filthy casuals.
Right.
It does let us check our little bit of geek cred bar and our little
There you
elitism
go.
box a little bit more.
EP nerd went up a little bit.
And we do like that. Admittedly, we do live in that world a little bit.
We do.
So, yes. All right. With that, we have exhausted the time for the show today. I absolutely appreciate you guys coming in. I love having a recap show after Gamefest every time. It's because this way it breaks apart from just my experience and talking to the interwebs and our fans out there, but what you guys get to experience and different perspectives. And I think this one I will check off as a success in the books.
Absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of people gaming, a lot of good games played, a lot of diversity, and as far as I can tell, everyone having fun.
Well, it's great to have the out-of-towners come in. Pause. Appreciate you flying in, buddy.
No, serious. Joe, thank you very much for driving all the miles you did. Thank you for flying
it's
and
been too long
packing
since
your
I've seen
rig
Right.
to come in. And no, we really do appreciate it. It makes for an even more memorable weekend. We had almost everybody commented like, "Holy cow, it's full down here." We probably had it at the highlight. We probably had 25 computers up and running together.
At least.
Well, we had a couple
Yeah.
ups and downs, right? And
Yeah.
stuff, and Shady's is still going to sit there, and we'll see when it eventually
Months.
leaves. But
Yeah.
yes.
Just bolt it down to this point.
So we're selling a new computer if anyone needs one.
Hey, every day, but he's gotten better. The last time it only took him a day or two. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. Some people will be in TeamSpeak afterwards. I'll be bouncing around and doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have tacos being made upstairs, so
Siege.
actual real food. There may be some more Siege and other stuff, so yes, we'll see what's happening. But
More
welcome
Siege.
to jump into TeamSpeak with us and play some more games. If you haven't been there before, jump in and join us. Just go to the front page of vtwproductions.com. We have all of our TeamSpeak information right there on the left, just below the play button when you're listening to the shows. All right, everybody, we will catch you again next week. Although, if nothing is maybe Ken only, I will be out of country. Hopefully, depending on how things are going, we'll be there.
Dear Bob and Tom, we had a very